Dad, your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, look at a southbound 65. That is starting to slow from West Street to Meridian Penn. And on the east side, northbound 465, stop-and-go traffic. East 56th Street to 71st. Northbound 37 on the south side, slow Epler to 465 because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Spring's here, so it's the perfect time to get your HVAC in top shape with Mr. Quick's $49 preseason tune-up. Get ahead of the heat and enjoy comfort all summer. Visit to MrQuickHomeServices.com and get your tune-up today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, a gorgeous afternoon with highs near 80. Clouds do increase tonight with lows falling to 59. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Happy Tax Day, everybody. Your taxes are due the 15th. And just as a side note, this weekend, Iran fired off a bunch of suicide drones and missiles towards Israel that were also funded by your tax dollars. What do you think about that, Hammer?
Well, thank God that in response, Israel used their defense system that was also funded by your tax dollars. So at one point, missiles were being shot and missiles were being shot down, all funded by our tax money.
Wow.
Good times.
Yeah, I was sitting there in my garage Saturday flipping back and forth between the Masters and the Iranian attack against Israel. It was like they knew it was coming. They telegraphed the whole damn thing. It was kind of surreal to sit there and watch that in real time. Yeah, about 300 suicide drones are now crossing Iraq. They're going to be over in Israeli airspace in 2 hours. And what happened, I think pretty much we all knew, is that they all got shot down.
Right.
Every one of them.
This reminded me a lot of what Fat Boy used to do over in North Korea. Iran just wanted to look like they were this major player to their people, because their state-run media that's going back to Iran makes it look like, they bombed the entire world and they're a major player now.
Yeah, propaganda is the perfect word. They're making it look like they flattened Tel Aviv.
Right.
Now, look, I'm not saying it didn't get scary. I'm not saying a hot war there isn't going on. I'm not saying that it couldn't possibly escalate further. World War III was a huge trending topic on X over the weekend.
But it always is.
It always is.
Rosie O'Donnell could pass gas and it's going to trend. World War III, here it comes. But here's the thing that I don't understand, Nige. Here's what has me perplexed. So the Iranians, they fired off a bunch of drones and missiles.
Yes.
But Joe Biden told them don't.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't. Narrator, but they did.
Has don't from Joe Biden worked at all? Because he uses this line a lot. He uses don't more than he uses that deer wearing Kevlar vest joke.
When he's talking about grabbing the guns?
Right.
What do you need an AR-15 to hunt for? The deer wearing a Kevlar vest?
I mean, he's good for that joke 2 or 3 times a year. But how many times does he say don't when he's trying to figure out foreign policy, and it fails every time, right?
Here's what you need to know. This is the first time that Iran has directly attacked Israel and not used a proxy like Hezbollah or Hamas or the Houthis or whatever. So the question everybody was asking Saturday, what is the significance of Iran directly attacking Israel for the first time in the history and not using a proxy? The significance is, ladies and gentlemen, that it's a weak, feckless administration in charge, and they are tiptoeing ever so lightly to that line to see how far to see what they could get away with.
Remember when Donald Trump was the president and he blew Soleimani off the map? All they found left was a finger with a ring on it. And the Iranians didn't do a damn thing.
They didn't do D word. I almost said it.
Good save.
Sorry.
Good save.
Oops.
They sat there and took it. But yet Joe Biden turns around and goes, don't. The first thing they did was to do it. So that tells you all you need to know about what the world, not just Iran, but the world thinks about Joe Biden.
Well, now the United States and the administration, the Biden administration, saying, "Hey, we got Israel's back. We support their right, but we're not going to do anything. We're not going to be involved in any counter attack that Israel might be involved with." A response.
Why does Israel always get a lecture when they want to
defend their homeland?
Defend themselves.
Hey, and look, just to be clear, they didn't ask for our help. They're doing a pretty damn good job themselves, the IDF especially, of defending their country. Now, the U.S. and the United States, even Jordan, even the UK helped shoot down a percentage of those drones and missiles. But it was mostly Israel and that unbelievable technology that they have, the Iron Dome.
Which we've paid a little bit for.
Oh, sure.
So again, our tax dollars sent the missiles and our tax dollars shot down the missiles. So most of the radical left, they hate Israel. They feel like they're the aggressors in this whole thing. But every once in a while, somebody pops up as a voice of reason. And I don't know what happened with his stroke, but post-stroke John Fetterman has been pretty based. So take a listen to this. This was
the senator of Pennsylvania.
Right. This is Fetterman on CNN talking with Jake Tapper.
Well, a couple of things, actually. I think it really demonstrates how it's astonishing that we are not standing firmly with Israel, and there should never be any kinds of conditions on all that. When a nation can launch hundreds of drones towards Israel, and I'm not going to be talking about conditions ever. And second, I think that also was Iran had to have some fireworks after Israel smoked that Iranian general, and I'm here for that. And I think it's just a matter of theater, part of it as well, too. And finally, it demonstrates how unstable things are and why we need to lean in and stand with Israel.
War is theater. But yeah, you're right. The Fetterman, boy, that stroke erased the woke.
It did.
Out of him.
He's been a totally different person following the stroke. Now, I know the conspiracy theorists are going, because it is a totally different person. But for argument's sake, let's say that it's the same John Fetterman here. Yeah, it's night and day. So Donald Trump, he was doing a rally this past weekend. He's on the campaign trail. And this is when a lot of the drama was going on.
Yeah.
You know, the missiles were in the air, the drones were in the air. Everybody knew what was happening. Donald Trump was doing a rally.
This was it. I think this was in Pennsylvania, actually.
And shared his thoughts on the leadership of Joe Biden.
Has anything that he's done turned out? Everything he touches turns to shit.
Why is that funny to me when he cusses? I don't know. I just laugh.
You find that enjoyable?
I do.
Well, tell you what, Nige, here comes great moments in Trump swearing history.
Yeah!
Donald Trump talking about ISIS.
ISIS is making a tremendous amount of money because they have certain oil camps, right? They have certain areas of oil that they took away. They have some in Syria, some in Iraq. I would bomb the shit out of them.
I was on the campaign trail.
So amused by that. I don't know why.
And that seems to be his word of choice.
If we are attacked, somebody attacks us, wouldn't you rather have Trump as president if we're attacked? Oh, we'll beat the shit out of them.
He's a good cusser, too.
He is. Does it with some vigor. And last but certainly not least, this is, I think, one of your favorite clips of all time, Nige.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.
Great moments in Donald Trump's swearing history. Hey, tickets are going fast and furious for our Tales from the Track event presented by Relay Indiana. So our promotions department, they give us a little email update every morning. Less than 100 remain. So we're over half the allotment sold already in just a couple days.
Sold about 55% of the tickets, so get on it.
Yes, less than 100 remain. It's going to sell out probably this week. So if you want to come to our event, it's Monday, May 20th, over at the Stutz building, the Vision Loft at Stutz. Scott Dixon is our guest. Hotel Tango, they are providing the libations, dinner, drinks. Scott's going to sign stuff, take pictures with you. It's a really cool, fun event, and it kickstarts race week. It's Monday before the Indy 500. Get your tickets now before it sells out. Go to the events page of WIBC.com. We've also got the link pinned to the top of our Facebook and Twitter. Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana with Scott Dixon. Buy your tickets right now. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
South side, northbound 37 stop and go Epler Avenue to 465 because of construction. Southbound 65 slows at 21st to Meridian Penn, and on the east side, northbound 465 stop and go traffic east 56 to 71st. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Spring's here, so it's the perfect time to get your HVAC in top shape with Mr. Quick's $49 preseason tune-up. Get ahead of the heat and enjoy comfort all summer. Visit MrQuickHomeServices.com and get your tune-up today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, sunshine and 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Good times for Pacers sports entertainment. The Pacers, the Fever, man, big stuff happening. We're going to talk to our pal Eddie White of the Pacers coming up next. And we've got Aerosmith tickets to give away sometime before 5 o'clock. So keep it locked right here. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
A broken border, corrupt politicians, and the rise of communist China. We don't need leaders who will surrender. We need America First conservative Mike Speedy. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Mike Speedy is the only candidate in the GOP primary with both an A+ rating from the NRA and the endorsement of Indiana Right to Life. Speedy is the conservative who beat the abortion lobby, voting to make Indiana pro-life in the post-Roe v. Wade era. Mike Speedy also voted to ban sanctuary cities and voted to guarantee our right to constitutional carry. Mike Speedy, America First conservative for Congress. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Congresswoman Sparks will be ready for your interview soon.
It seems pretty intense in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Maybe I'll take some time before the interview to Google Victoria Sparks and learn a little more about her. Whoa. Have you seen this article?
One aide calling the lawmakers' workplace behavior manic?
Victoria Spartz was #1 on Legistorm's list of worst bosses based on high turnover rates.
Says she, quote, avoided firing aides and instead bullied them until they left.
And the story is based on interviews with half a dozen former staffers.
Yikes. Spartz called staff morons and idiots.
Get this. Victoria Spartz says her working style is, quote, not for everyone.
Well, it's not for me. I think I'll pass on this interview.
I'm Chuck Goodrich. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the Sancio Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying in the fight for the pole position. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Car Day. And all roads lead to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. May is yours. May is ours. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
If you have breathing triangle issues like compromised nasal breathing and sleep, snoring, or even sleep apnea issues, a call to Advent makes sense. Because breathing well will help you live better.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Damon's Lawn and Garden on West Rockville Road.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Hammer's right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Eddie White is with the Indiana Pacers, Pacers Sports Entertainment. And Eddie, there's a lot of fun things happening over that big building over there on Pennsylvania Street right now. What's the vibe?
The vibe's unbelievable. But let me just remind your listeners of why you two are the greatest people on earth. How you can go within minutes from talking about that dumb, fat bastard in North Korea and then talking to me, another dumb, fat slob, is just amazing. How now, the only thing I will say is I have better hair than that prick. I really do. Anyway, having said that, this has been a really – let's go back. Okay, let's go back because things just don't happen overnight. Let's talk about the Pacers. From 22 to 23, that was from the year before last to last season, we had a 10-win plus. We improved by 10 wins. From last year to this year, we improved by 12. Pacer fans are smart. They knew this was a process. I think we're a little bit ahead of things. I think everybody would admit that, but we are headed in the right freaking direction. You think we're doing this right now without Mathurin? It's giving guys like Walker and these other guys to get some extra minutes. Now, the Fever, they went from, I think, 10 games up. They got the number one pick last year. They improved by 10 games. Now we got the number one pick tonight. I have no idea who they're taking. And that's what we got to say. Sorry. And they're going to improve by probably 15 games going next year. I tell you what, Pacers Fever, if they were a stock, I'd buy everything into it. Things are great. To answer your question, I don't know if we've had a better vibe, a positivity. It's good for our city. It's good for our state. And I'm so happy for our ownership and a lot of people who've worked a lot. Listen, Kevin Pritchard and Lynn Dunn, let's make no mistake, they are the architects of these two franchises, and those two people should be given a lot of credit.
So let's just, for argument's sake, wink, wink, say that the Fever draft Caitlin Clark of Iowa tonight. Are we seeing, like, major ticket sale upgrades already?
Well, is that the guard from Iowa?
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure which player she is.
Thought I saw her on Saturday Night Live over the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Is she related to Dick Clark? His daughter?
I don't believe she's part of that Clark family.
Was she on the episode with Bobby Rydell came on? I'm not quite sure. But ticket sales have been very good since I think people saw that we had the number one pick. It's very similar to last year when San Antonio got the number one pick and nobody knew who they were going to take.
Right.
Their ticket sales went up. And I think, if you look at the history of the WNBA, and Lynn Dunn was there, when teams have taken back-to-back number one overall picks, that's the key word, because you're getting the best of the best. Good things happen. And Aaliyah Boston, we took her last year. Look, she was an all-star her first year. She was Rookie of the Year. She's now a star in broadcasting. She's unbelievable. Our local high school thing, the big dinner they're having, she's going to be like the MC and the guest speaker. So she's been a delight to add to our community. And now we're going to add whoever it may be. It may be Shirley Schwartz from Yeshiva. I don't know. Whoever we add tonight with the number one overall pick is going to add gloriously to us. And to answer your question, yes, ticket sales are up a skosh.
Angel Reese from LSU, the number one draft pick by the Indiana Fever. Could be.
Could be.
Could be. I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think so. Angel, the name Angel. What does Billy Joel sing the other night when they cut him off? Only the good die young. Nah, I don't think Angel. No Angel. No Angel. I'm going to pass on the Angel.
Eddie White of the Pacers with us. And Pacers have made it into the playoffs, and we're talking legit 7-game series, not this play-in round stuff. And it's against a team that I don't like very much, Eddie. It's the Pacers. It's the Bucks. I know it's a new era. It's, a lot of scoring with this Pacers team, but I'm ready for some animosity. I'm ready for some trash talk. I don't like Milwaukee. I don't think Milwaukee likes Indiana. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Oh, absolutely. Let's remember back when we had the ball controversy. Remember when Giannis had that game and scored all those points, and they thought we had the game ball, and they took the game ball, and he went running down the tunnel.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Add to the intrigue. Now, we all know, because we haven't been to playoffs for a while, but a lot of us have been around. We remember the glory days when it seemed we were going to playoffs every year. It is night and day, regular season to playoffs. That's why NBA playoff basketball is fantastic. There's adjustments that are made. There's more time between games. You don't. This isn't March Madness one and done. You got to beat somebody 4 times, and that's tough to do. But I love our team. I mean, somebody needs to tell me, okay, we are getting better defensively, but when T.J. McConnell is on the run that he's on from shooting the 3, and look what Halliburton did today. This year, he did stuff that's only been done once before in the history of the league with Muggsy Bogues with all those assists and lack of turnovers. Everybody knows their role. Jalen Smith, Obi Toppin coming. Our bench is the best bench in the NBA. We have, and don't mistake this. Pascal Siakam. He is now blended in. He's been there. He's done that. He's almost. Remember way back in the day when we got David West and he was the adult in our locker room?
Yeah.
Well, he's the adult in our locker room with a ring, and that is very, very important. Now, one last thing. Fans and media are getting caught up in the thing like, I don't like this. Everybody's picking the Pacers to win. Do you think the players and Rick Carlisle read that? Trust me, I've been in this business too. The players and the coaches don't give a crap. They know they got a good opponent coming up, but if we play to our capabilities, we will advance to the next round.
And I've missed this, Eddie. I've missed seeing the bars downtown hopping, the warm weather, playoff basketball, the field house rocking. It's been a little bit. I've missed it.
And how about this one? In the past, we've had the pep rally outside, in front of Gamebridge. Now we have the Bicentennial Unity Plaza. It's going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait for playoff games downtown Indianapolis. It's going to be unbelievable. And let's win a couple rounds, and then we can have the 3 greatest words in the summer in Indianapolis: Pacers and Racers.
I'm here for it.
You thought, wait a minute, you guys thought I was going to say Hammer and Nigel, didn't you? Really? Egomaniac?
You got me.
Well, you guys are the second best 3 words in Indianapolis at any time of the year. But in the summer, it's Pacers and Racers.
I like the sounds of that. Game 1 is this Sunday in Milwaukee. Don't know the time yet. We'll find that out later. Eddie White, you're the best. Thanks, man.
Nigel, one last thing. Hey, Hammer, one last thing
right
for you,
here.
Hammer. Trivia question. Hammer, this is for you, baby. You ready?
Let's go.
Who is 7th in the country in Division II in the NCAA in saves in baseball and leads the GLVC in saves and is the best relief pitcher in the history of the game?
I think it's probably from the Fighting Greyhounds of the University of Indianapolis, and I think it's that sidearm white kid.
Yep, that's the kid. That white kid. He's unbelievable, that guy. I know who the hell he is, but I don't know where he gets his genes from. It ain't his dad. Certainly
It's got to be from his mama, that's for sure.
You got that right. Love you guys. Go Hounds, baby. Go Hounds. Go Pacers. Go Fever. Woo, baby.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
On a map, the southern border is 1,000 miles away. but that's not how it feels to my family. I grew up in a blue-collar home in Richmond. My dad was a factory worker. He was laid off twice. Not because the factory was doing poorly, but because it was cheaper to move those jobs across the border. I'm Jameson Carrier. Today, it's not what's leaving across the border that's devastating our families. It's what's coming in. And once again, it's personal. My wife and I lost our son Joey to fentanyl, a tragedy that's become far too common. To President Biden, secure the border is just a talking point. But to our family, it's life and death. I'm Jameson Carrier. I'm a business owner, a native Hoosier, and a Trump Republican. And we can't wait another day to secure our border and put Americans first. I'm Jameson Carrier, and I approve this message.
Jameson Carrier for Congress. Paid for by Carrier for Congress, Inc.
Now is the perfect time for you to call the Bath Authority to get your project you've been putting off done this spring. Because the Bath Authority has an unbelievable deal going on. Call today at 317-532-5711. 317-532-5711. Schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. That's right. All you got to do is call today at 317-532-5711. Schedule a free in-home estimate with the Bath Authority and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. The Bath Authority does it all. 317-532-5711 for $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
Eligible members can select a plan now. Call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When it could rain again. 79 degrees, mostly sunny on the circle. All good on your radar. Low temps to the upper 50s later. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Moss Roofing, here's what's trending at 3:32. Severe storms are possible starting Tuesday night and could continue into Wednesday.
Isolated large hail and gusty winds. Strong, severe winds are possible as it comes into our area, but it should be in a weakening state. I think the bigger threat for us would be more so on Wednesday, as of the way it looks right now.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service. Strong winds, hail, and isolated tornado all possible. 2 adults have been charged with the death of a 5-year-old girl, and they had their first court hearing today.
Seeing a small child and what they had to go through, not only in the last couple of months, but throughout their entire life. What is alleged is that basically every single adult let that child down.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says the death of Kinsley Welty was preventable. Her mother, Toni McClure, has been charged with murder and child neglect. Mears says they want life without parole for her. Her boyfriend, Ryan Smith, and Welty's grandmother have also been charged with neglect. A drone attack directed by Iran launched over 300 missiles into Israel over the weekend.
Iranian leaders launched so many missiles and other munitions because they knew that many were going to be defeated. But the aim was to get as many of them through Israel's defenses as possible.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says about 99% of the missiles were stopped. It was the first time Iran had ever launched any into Israeli territory. The first set of potential jurors in the Donald Trump trial in New York are being sworn. Jury selection could take up to 2 weeks because of how many prospective jurors there are. Eventually, there's going to be 12 with 6 alternates. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.58, according to GasBuddy.com. That's 3 cents below the national average. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Hey, honey, take a look at this. I thought Chinese businesses buying up Indiana farmland was illegal.
Well, politician Chuck Goodrich voted for a special deal to let Chinese communist companies buy farmland.
Oh, I guess that's why they're calling him China Chuck.
Yeah, he also gave a sweetheart deal to another Chinese company to control Indiana land.
Oh, he really earned that name, China Chuck.
Worse, that Chinese company that Chuck Goodrich gave the deal to, President Trump banned it because it was a national security security threat.
Wow, I'm not voting for China Chuck Goodrich. He puts China first and Hoosiers last.
Remind me, who's China Chuck Goodrich running against?
It's Republican Victoria Spartz.
Oh, I love Victoria Spartz. She's an America First conservative. She stands with President Trump to finish the wall and defend our borders.
Oh, Victoria's got my vote.
I am Victoria Spartz, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Victoria Spartz for Congress.
With traffic at 334, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at southbound 65. It's jammed up 29th at 221st and slow around west to Meridian Penn. East side northbound 465 slow after Penn Pike up to 71st. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road and a crash south side Amberson Avenue at Thompson Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. For a limited time with B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months. No interest, no payments. Plus, qualifying completed projects earn a $500 gift card at SullivanHardware.com. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, a gorgeous afternoon with highs near 80. Clouds do increase tonight with lows falling to 59. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. On the hotline, licensed firearms instructor and 2A attorney. Host of the Gun Guy show right here, Saturdays on 93 WIBC. It's Guy Relford. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gun Day. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
Okay, so I got a clip from your show I'm going to play, but the clip was used by Moms Demand Action. They actually used a quote from your show to recruit for members on social media. Before we play the clip, just explain briefly what Moms Demand Action is.
Yeah, Moms Demand Action. They actually started life as a group called Million Moms for Gun Control, but they caught a lot of heat, especially on social media, because they had about 900,000 shy of 1 million who even liked them on social media. In fact, more than that, they were shy. But they changed the name to Moms Demand Action. So they're a gun control group. They're under the Michael Bloomberg umbrella of anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment groups, including mayors for illegal guns and whatnot. And they have volunteers who show up at state legislatures or in Congress whenever there's a bill out there affecting the Second Amendment, and they're always on the side of gun control.
So they used a clip from your show to, like, what's going on in the background of this clip while your segment is airing?
Well, I was talking about how things have changed, and in particular, I was sort of bragging on the impact of the 2A Project, the Second Amendment organization, the pro-Second Amendment organization that I founded 4 years ago. And I was talking about how for years and years, the Moms Demand Action people would be the only ones to show up when we'd have bills over in the General Assembly.
Yeah, here, let me play the clip. I'll just go ahead and play the.
Absolutely.
I'm going to play the clip that they used in their propaganda recruiting video.
And you've heard me talk about this here on the Gun Guy show before. I show up to these committee hearings. I mean, we fought for constitutional carry for 10 years. Or even like when I was fighting for the self-defense immunity bill that I wrote, and you've heard me talk about many times here. It was introduced and championed by Jim Lucas. We'd show up to fight for that bill. It'd be me, the local NRA guy, and an entire room full of ladies or people in red T-shirts that say Moms Demand Action. And let me tell you, they're vocal, man. They clap, they boo, they make it obvious where their sentiments lie and what they want legislators to do. And the dynamics in the room make a difference.
And in the background, they're showing different pictures of Moms Demand Action people with the red shirts in the State House and on the stairs and protesting. But they failed to they didn't finish the clip, right? They failed to inform the people of something additional.
Well, that's right. And I said the most important part after that, which is that, I got sick of the Moms Demand Action people being the only people that would show up to committee hearings and whatnot. So we organized a 2A project, and you know what? We started filling those rooms. And what they really left out conspicuously is that every one of the bills that I mentioned, like the self-defense immunity bill that I wrote in 2019 and constitutional carry, we got all those passed.
Yeah.
The opposition of Moms Demand Action. So I was saying, they're completely ineffectual. They show up, and you got to, they're participating in the process. You got to give the devil his due, in the sense that these folks show up and participate in the process. And I was saying, I'm proud of gun owners because through the 2A project, we've started showing up too, but we need more of that. And we don't want to be outnumbered, even though, again, we continue to win those battles. We don't want to be numbered in those committee hearings or in the State House generally, because the dynamics of who shows up can make a difference in some of the legislators' minds. So I was giving them credit to some degree, but then proceeded to go into how bad we whipped their ass, because they don't have a single victory that they can point to say, well, we showed up and we beat that bill, right?
Right.
And because we ended up winning every damn one. So it was kind of ludicrous. And so I wrote out that response, because this is on their Twitter. In fact, I reposted it with my response and said, you kind of left out the most important part here, which is that we won on every one of these things, and we've dramatically increased the participation of gun owners. And so that's all, to me, the point. That they completely left out. But I just got a big kick out of the fact that Moms Demand Action, of all people, was using a clip from my show to try to gain members. And they started off saying something like, no one can dispute the power and impact of Moms Demand Action. I'm like, I'll dispute power and impact all day long, because you haven't won anything, not in Indiana, certainly.
To put this into my world, Guy,
no.
to bring this into my world here, this is like being a Tennessee Volunteers fan. We've got the biggest stadium. We put 100,000+ people in there. It's much bigger than Georgia's, and then Georgia comes in and beats the hell out of us every single year.
That's right. Now, you still want the big crowds, right? You still want the support.
Right. We got the crowds. Crowds not the problem.
That's right. Well, that is the perfect analogy to Moms Demand Action, now that I think about it.
Guy Relford with us. It's Monday, Gunday. Guy, today is the solemn anniversary of the FedEx shooting 3 years ago, FedEx facility near the airport. Some lunatic piece of garbage walked in close to 11 o'clock at night, opened fire, and this was because of what some people would say was the prosecution in this county, Marion County, dropping the ball on a red flag case. So before we get into the blame game, if you will, please reset what the red flag law is for Indiana.
Yeah, and we were actually the second state in the country to pass one of these. And what a red flag law does, guys, is it actually allows for the seizure of firearms from someone who's not been convicted of any crime. So you don't have to be convicted of anything. The police can, on a report that you're dangerous, quote unquote, can actually seize firearms without a warrant. And that's where a lot of due process concerns come in. But then a judge reviews the report on why the guns were seized for probable cause to believe the person's dangerous. And then you get a hearing, and it's supposed to be within 14 days in Indiana, where you can go in and have representation and argue your case as to why, in fact, you're not dangerous and your guns ought to be returned. But red flag laws allow the seizure of firearms from people that have not been convicted of any crime, and that's why they're so controversial.
And due process is a big part of this. But you said earlier, it's expected that within 14 days, there's some sort of action. And there's questions about whether or not that happened in regards to the FedEx shooter.
Yeah, well, what is supposed to happen is that once firearms are seized, then within 48 hours, the police who seize the firearms have to submit a report to the prosecutor's office and to a judge for a judge to determine probable cause on dangerousness. In Marion County, and they've since changed this specifically because of the FedEx case, but for years and years, they changed the system a little bit in Marion County, where the police would give their report on dangerousness after guns were seized to the prosecutor's office, in this case to Ryan Mears' office. Then the prosecutor's office would decide whether to submit it to a judge for it to go any further or not. And unfortunately, in the case of the FedEx shooting, this one just went in, sat in the Marion County prosecutor's office with no action whatsoever for months and months and months after the FedEx shooter was reported by his own family, his mother and his sister, to be dangerous. Police showed up, found a shotgun he'd bought there, seized the shotgun, found some white supremacy stuff, some things that were concerning in his room, then submitted their report to the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor never acted on that. It never got considered by a judge. It just sat in the prosecutor's office. And as a direct result, the chief judge in Marion County changed the whole system, and now they bypass the prosecutor's office altogether, and the police officer submits their report directly to the judge, who determines probable cause and whether then there's need for a hearing.
Guy, if anybody has any questions for you, if they want to pick your brain, maybe they want to be trained in firearms safety, how do they find you?
Best way is to contact me through Twitter. Just at Guy Relford on Twitter, at Guy Relford.
Guy, you're the best. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Get ready for storm season, because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. Get the deal that can't be beat. The friendliest folks you'll ever meet. It rhymed. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. AndyMooreFord.com. With their Get More guarantee, you'll get more savings, more selection, and more for your trade. And if you stop by on April 8th, the day of the big eclipse, you can enter for a chance to win a used Mitsubishi Eclipse during their Total Eclipse of the Lot party. Plus, enjoy some food truck bites and free solar glasses. Now that's more like it. Come see for yourself why people choose Andy Moore Ford for their new car, for their new truck, for their new electric vehicle. And coming in April, it's the birthday of the Ford Mustang. I'm driving the Mustang GT right now. You are going to love it. Check out everything on the lot or find everything online. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, right there at 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield. Your best deal on a new car or truck is waiting for you. Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Terry Stacy here. Honey Baked Ham isn't just for the holidays. Stop in for lunch and choose from handcrafted sandwiches, salads, soups, and more. Or take home a heat and serve family meal that comes with a home-style main dish, sides, and rolls. Perfect for a busy weekend night and better than fast food. Have a special event this spring? Let Honey Baked cater with sandwich trays or a VIP buffet with all the extras. Honey Baked on West 96th Street in Indy or Greyhound Pass in Carmel makes it easy to serve something special any day of the year.
BoerRemodeling.com, serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 27th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Tim McGraw. In concert. The Standing Room Only Tour 2024. A night filled with your favorite songs. This Thursday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. With special guest Carly Pierce and Randall King. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tim McGraw. Presented by Sports Illustrated.
Damon's Garden Center has endless varieties of trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies, and a friendly, helpful staff at Damon's on West Rockville Road.
Join the Home and Garden Show this Saturday at Exercise Inc. at their Fisher's Open House, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday Drive, just east of State Road 37 off 141st Street.
Now offering 50% off all products, plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me. Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Keeping our eye on some of these anti-Israel activist marches taking place around the country, like in Brooklyn right now in the Brooklyn Bridge. All of these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel activists basically blocking traffic, shutting everything down. We had heard that Indy was on the list for one of these types of protests. I haven't seen anything yet. Matt Bear, anything on the radar?
So far, so good, Hammer. We do have a closure. That's Fawn Creek Parkway at Evanston, shut down for 2 weeks as they work on the Nickel Plain Trail. Southbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Bend. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Eastbound 465, stop and go Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Southbound 69, still slow from 126th Street to State Road 37. Traffic sponsored by B Window. For a limited time with B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months, no interest or payments. Plus qualifying completed projects earn a $500 gift card at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, sometime in the next hour, your chance to win Aerosmith tickets. Make sure you're listening. 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Coming up after 4 o'clock, an update on the hush money trial kicking off for Donald Trump in New York. Right now, Hammer, I saw this, I thought of you because your family likes to play Monopoly, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it gets violent.
It's dangerously unhealthy in our house.
So Margot Robbie, who was said to be producing a live-action Monopoly movie after the success of Barbie. Does that interest you at all?
Is Margot Robbie going to be nude? That's my question.
I don't think she was nude in Barbie, and it was pretty successful. So,
but she was nude in The Wolf of Wall
yes,
Street.
she was.
So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. Other than that, probably not. I love Monopoly. It gets heated in our house. Tables get flipped. People start to filibuster. It's kind of a big deal. But I don't know if we need a movie.
My thing is, if it's just because Margot Robbie is producing a movie, she was one of the producers for Barbie. If they don't have Greta Gerwig writing and directing the movie, like she did in Barbie, Greta Gerwig wrote and directed Barbie, got a bunch of awards, a bunch of Oscars, then it's not going to be, just because she's producing something doesn't mean it's going to be successful.
What if Tarantino directs it? People start getting shot on, Baltic Avenue, the cheap properties, and
then I would be interested in that.
He's living in the Hollywood Hills up on the boardwalk area. Great moments in Monopoly history. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was leaving Little Caesars a couple of years ago, and there's a guy that comes walking out, and he's got a big neck tattoo because, it's classy. Big neck tattoo of a pot leaf. And busting out of the pot leaf, almost like the Kool-Aid guy, was the Monopoly guy with his dong hanging out.
That's where you stop that man immediately and ask to take a selfie with him. Real quick, some mood music here, Allison. the soothing, soulful sounds of a band called Tool. Their lead singer, Maynard James Keenan. I'm a Tool fan. And I've met Maynard James Keenan before. Totally cool guy. I was intimidated as hell.
You wouldn't think a hard rocker would be named Maynard.
Maynard James Keenan is now enforcing a no phone policy at his concerts because it's rude and distracting. He says it keeps you from living in the moment. Is this something? I don't know. I see that kind of thing. It's one thing for comedy shows. Like Dave Chappelle does this thing. Right. You can't bring cell phones into his shows. But a concert? Come on. Let the fans do their thing, man.
And, man, I don't like these no phone policies. I fight with Tony Kennett about this. I don't like it in schools, and I don't like it in concerts, because what if some bleep goes down and you have to call 911? Sure. You have to call somebody to get you safe. I don't like it at all. I mean, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but the FedEx facility 3 years ago, no phone policy. Maybe if somebody had access to a phone quicker, they could have called the authorities quicker. I don't like that.
But I think at concerts, too, people like to memorialize. They like to, they're still living in the moment, but they want to, like at a Dave Chappelle show, they're trying to catch him, right? Somebody's just filming him, trying to catch him to say something transphobic. But I think it's different for music concerts.
And people can share the stuff and promote the band.
Sure.
I'm with you on that. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Attention seniors, you're invited to the grand opening of Centerwell Indy West. Centerwell offers primary care centered on seniors, so come celebrate on Thursday, April 18th at 5115 West Washington Street in Indianapolis from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, call 317-754-7291 or visit meetcenterwellindiana.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
For service today?
Today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Hammer and Nigel here. If you're looking for someplace new to go for lunch, try Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall. Bottleworks District, downtown Indy. They're specialized in the lobster rolls, but you've got to try their brand new honey fried lobster roll. It's so good.
And while you're at the Garage Food Hall, check out Palavana Cubano, the newest and best Cuban sandwich restaurant in Indy. I have had that Cuban Reuben. It's unbelievable. Palavana Cubano inside the Garage Food Hall at the Bottle Works.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any Four-tire purchase.
Michelin's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Michelin's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
When plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew knows how to put water in its place. We do it all, from the kitchen sink to delicate repairs in historic homes. And we'll always give you honest advice at a fair price. So if you're worried about the cost of plumbing repairs, call today for a free second opinion on a competitor's estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is
May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the Sancio Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying in the fight for the pole position. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day. And all roads lead to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. May is yours. May is ours. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at ims.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, when you can expect rain to return to your forecast, why the Marion County prosecutor wants a woman to go behind bars for life, and Sam Fritz reports on a scam that the FBI would like you to know about. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
What happens next? I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. U.S. officials steering clear of that question after helping to defeat Iran's unprecedented attack on Israel.
I don't want to get into hypotheticals at this point. Whether or not Israel responds to Iran's attack, of course, is something for Israel to discuss and to decide.
Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder.
We don't want to see escalation, but we obviously will take necessary measures to protect our forces in the region. And as was demonstrated over the weekend, we'll take necessary measures to defend Israel.
He also says Iran did not inform the U.S. in advance of the attack, retaliation for the suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy compound in Syria. President Biden says the U.S. remains committed to a ceasefire in Gaza that brings home the hostages taken by Hamas. Protesters launching anti-Israel demonstrations at some key sites across the U.S. today. One shutting down California's Golden Gate Bridge, which is now back open in both directions.
The southbound direction is finally moving. This long backup of cars finally going through. There were police at the front of this huge crowd of vehicles with their lights going and their sirens going, and that was the escort to get these cars that have been waiting nearly 5 hours across the span and into San Francisco.
Fox's Claudia Cowan at the bridge. Highway Patrol says some vehicles had been linked together and were towed off. New York City police now moving to break up a protest on the Brooklyn Bridge. Jury selection underway for the New York trial of former President Trump, who's charged with falsifying business records to hide hush money payments.
This is an assault on our country.
The former president telling reporters earlier today it's political persecution and a case that should never have been brought. Stocks tumble. The Dow down 248 points at the bell on a day that started in positive territory. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rain could return tomorrow. 79 degrees, mostly sunny on Monument Circle. Nice and calm on the radar. Low of 57 predicted for tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Storms expected to last for a few days this week, starting tomorrow night, says Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service.
If we're going to get severe weather on Tuesday, it's going to mainly be after 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening. It'll be pretty late into the day, almost into the night. It might not even arrive until after sunset for a lot of places.
Eckhoff says storms Wednesday could also bring a threat for an isolated tornado. Toni McClure's been charged with the murder of her 5-year-old daughter, Kinsley Welty, after she was found unresponsive last week. She had her first court hearing in the case today.
In addition to those charges, the prosecutor's office is also announcing that we're going to be filing an enhancement in that case, a sentencing enhancement. In particular, we are going to be seeking life without parole.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears talking before the hearing. McClure's boyfriend, Ryan Smith, and Welty's grandmother, Tammy Halsey, each also face charges of child neglect resulting in death. Mears claims Welty's death was preventable if someone had stepped in and did something. Her cause of death was ruled malnourishment. The FBI warning people about a phone scam that's being reported in Indiana. Sam Fritz reports.
The scam works like this. The potential victim receives a phone call from someone using a government phone number and impersonating a law official, like a U.S. Marshal. They will say that the victim's identity has been stolen and ask them to withdraw money from their bank account before it is frozen. The scammer then asks them to buy gift cards that they claim will be used to start a new bank account. These scams usually result in losses of thousands of dollars and often target the elderly. The release states that if you need to authenticate a call by a government employee, to call your local United States District Court clerk. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You might remember hearing about nonstop flights from Evansville to Chicago coming back last week.
So a lot of people in the business community certainly rejoicing. They still need to get back that Detroit flight for Toyota in Southwest Indiana.
Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business tells WIBC's Tony Katz that getting that Detroit flight to return would really help out Toyota, especially because they have a plant in Princeton. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Congresswoman Sparks will be ready for your interview soon.
It seems pretty intense in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Maybe I'll take some time before the interview to Google Victoria Sparks and learn a little more about her. Whoa. Have you seen this article?
One aide calling the lawmakers' workplace behavior manic?
Victoria Sparks was #1 on Legistorm's list of worst bosses based on high turnover rates.
Says she, quote, avoided firing aides and instead bullied them until they left.
And the story is based on interviews with half a dozen former staffers.
Yikes. Sparks called staff morons and idiots.
Get this. Victoria Sparks says her working style is, quote, not for everyone.
Well, it's not for me. I think I'll pass on this interview.
I'm Chuck Goodrich. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go With Chuck Goodrich Committee.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, a crash going from Indianapolis to Shelbyville. It's eastbound 74 between Post and Acton. The left lane is blocked, and both shoulders are covered. Right now, traffic is slow to Post Road or over a mile. Looking at eastbound 72 downtown, stop-and-go traffic before Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 69, slow from 96 to 82nd. Eastbound 465, stop-and-go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Northbound 465 on the northwest side, stop and go traffic from 86th Street up to 865, and southbound 65 slow to downtown from 21st Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. I solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s. We should see clouds increasing. Isolated chance at a shower or storm tomorrow morning. Rain chances increase Tuesday night. High temperatures in the upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse from 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. That hush money trial for Donald Trump's about getting, it's underway in New York right now. Basically, Fat Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, is saying Trump paid off Stormy Daniels as a campaign expense, violating, some sort of federal campaign law, correct?
Right. That's basically it.
And it's a crazy legal theory. Every legal analyst has looked at this, including Fat Alvin Bragg's predecessor, including Merrick Garland's Justice Department. But, hey, it's Donald Trump. Derangement syndrome is strong with these idiots.
And even though those folks who are still very, very left on the political scale think this thing is a nothing burger, it's going to be hard as hell for Donald Trump to get a fair shake in New York. Because that's just the way that it is right now. There's no way they're going to find a jury that could be impartial when it comes to Donald Trump. Everybody in this country has their mind made up when it comes to the big bad orange man. Either you like him or you can't stand him. I seriously doubt Donald Trump can get a fair shake in New York.
I thought I saw a headline that a former Biden staffer was in the jury pool for the E. Jean Carroll defamation lawsuit. So, you're right. The judge is a anti-Trump, or a Fat Alvin Bragg anti-Trump. The jury in Manhattan is full of, it's tainted for sure.
Right. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for Donald Trump. He puts himself in a lot of positions where it's easy to go after
him. He didn't do anything illegal here. In fact, she's the one that owes him money. She lost the defamation trial. Stormy Daniels did. She owes him $300,000 in lawyer's fees. She's the one that signed the non-disclosure agreement, and she's the one that broke it. Trump should sue her.
So before this got rocking and rolling earlier today, Donald Trump arrived at the courthouse, walked to the hallway, and addressed the media.
This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America. And that's why I'm very proud to be here. This is an assault on our country. And it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is. So I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm honored to be here.
Right. I was
Good
wondering if
for
anybody
him.
else caught that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, these people are so stupid, they can't figure out you're only making him more popular.
Absolutely. What did I say earlier? There's two things. This it's designed to raise Fat Alvin Bragg's political profile, which it could, but it's also designed to diminish Trump's, which it won't. I mean, several ridiculous indictments and charges during a campaign. The judge told Donald Trump in this case, you have to be here every day. If you're not, then you go to jail.
And they slapped a gag order on him after he made that speech this morning. So the media and everybody else, Alvin Bragg, you name it, they can bump their gums and try to taint this story. Donald Trump is not supposed to say anything.
You said taint.
Allison, let's do some legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. So O.J. Simpson's last will and testament was filed in Clark County in Nevada on April 12th. That's 2 days after he died. O.J.'s longtime lawyer, Malcolm Laverne, was named as the executor of his estate, with Simpson's son Justin... Executor, I'm sorry, being named his successor.
I think this is funny you use the word executor talking about O.J. Simpson.
So basically, the will and the lawyer are saying that even though the Goldman family is allegedly owed $100 million, they're going to work to make sure that they don't receive a single dime from O.J.'s will and his estate.
Well, I hope the Goldmans are working equally as hard to get their hands on it.
An attorney for Goldman's family stated that the family is owed $100 million, but Laverne, the attorney, said, quote, "We'll do everything to ensure Goldman receives zero from the estate."
Ugh.
So in other OJ news now, the original white Bronco from the iconic chase is about to hit the auction market.
You're kidding.
So OJ's former agent and two other acquaintances, friends of Al Cowlings, who has also passed away, they are the ones that have the title to the white Bronco.
Well, Al Cowlings was the one that drove it. He was driving it, yeah.
Now, for the last about a year and a half, it's been part of the Alcatraz Crime Museum down in Rocky Top.
No kidding.
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Know that. I'd drive to Pigeon Forge to see that.
I know. I need to go check it out before it's too late. They've got that. They've got the Bonnie and Clyde car that was shot up there. It's supposed to be pretty cool. But now, since the juice has kicked the bucket, it looks like they're trying to strike while the iron's hot. They're looking for $1.5 million. So my question to you, Big Nige, could you drive a vehicle? Doesn't have to be OJ's white Bronco. Could be anything that you knew was previously owned by a heinous criminal, or if a crime was committed in that vehicle.
If I had enough money to bid on the white Bronco, I would, and then I would give the money to the Goldmans and then have it publicly demolished at a junkyard.
Okay.
Make an event out of it.
I could see that.
That's what I'd do.
Because sometimes we hear these questions when it comes to real estate. Could you move into a house if you knew like a series of grisly homicides took place in there?
I don't think so. Could you?
I totally could.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I mean, if it's a good house and the structure is good, I mean, what are the chances it happens twice? So I think I'd take my chance. Allison, what about you? Could you drive the white Bronco? Let's just say it runs good, not that many miles on it. Could you drive that or live into a house that you knew carnage took place in?
I could not live in a house. Or you know what I would do? I would sell both of those and give that money to the Gordon family.
Okay. I see what you're saying there.
Goldman family?
The Goldman family. I'm sorry.
But let's just say that that's off the table. Someone gives you the white Bronco. They just give you the keys. Would you drive it?
No, I'd keep it in a museum.
Okay. Today is tax day. Allison, do we have any tax-themed music here?
Cause I'm the tax man. Cause I'm the tax man. Taxes living off of the people's taxes. Well, I'm down, thank you, man. Money. I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off of my stack. Yeah, I'm the tax man.
Little tribute for Tax Day.
There you go.
Great moments in tax history. One of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons, where the news anchor, Kent Brockman, is interviewing people in line who waited until the last minute.
This is Kent Brockman live at the Springfield Post Office on Tax Day. It's literally the 11th hour, 10 p.m. And tardy taxpayers are scrambling to mail their returns by midnight. Sir, why did you wait until the last minute to pay your taxes?
Because I'm an idiot. Happy?
Of course.
Like, that's how every one of those interviews is supposed to be, right? Krusty the Clown. Because I'm an idiot. Is that what you want? Great moments in tax history. Oh, remember this bombshell?
We've got some significant breaking news tonight. Again, tonight we are breaking news. Donald Trump's tax returns. What we have are these 2 pages.
I mean, you talk about a nothing burger. I mean, even like late night talk show hosts were making fun of Rachel Maddow.
Right.
Because of that. Like, what was it? Like a copy of his W-2 from 99 or something like that? I don't know.
And then like a back page that just had a signature on it.
Yeah.
Geraldo and his vaults thought that was a little bit overblown. And lastly, great moments in tax history. Back when Donald Trump used to be on Twitter on the regular, we would have guests come in, celebrity guests, and read his tweets.
That's right.
Here's one where people were really wanting to know about his taxes, and we had Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks come in and read the tweet.
The fake news media, just like Election Time 2016, is bringing up my taxes and all sorts of other nonsense with illegally obtained information and only bad intent. I paid many millions of dollars in taxes, but was entitled, like everyone else, to depreciation and tax credits.
Great moments in tax history. So, Matt Bear, we're going to pose the question to you. If somebody gave you OJ's white Bronco and it ran well, you know, it's still in decent shape, could you in good conscience drive it?
A free car is a free car, man.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to sell it, and nobody's going to know it's OJ's, but I'm going to keep it. Looking at eastbound 74 before Acton Road, that is a crash blocking the left lane, and both shoulders are covered as well. Traffic is stopped. Back to Franklin Road, that is a 33-minute of delay to make it through that delay to get to Shelbyville eventually. Crash Emerson Avenue, Thompson Road on the south side. Inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn, and eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Belmont to the south is split. Traffic sponsored by Cracker Barrel. It pays to be early because at Cracker Barrel you can get early dinner deals on their signature dishes weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. starting at just $8.99. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
So, Matt, the other part of that little debate, could you move into a house or apartment if you knew just a grisly homicide had taken place there?
Hey, that's a housewarming party right there, baby. I mean, yeah.
I'm with Matt.
I could do that, absolutely.
No, thank you.
I'm with Matt. Right now, sunshine 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is This Anything is next.
Mario Andretti, Tony Kanaan, and Dario Franchitti, champions who have shared their stories at Tales from the Track. This May, WIPC welcomes Indianapolis 500 winner and 6-time IndyCar champion Scott Dixon to share his stories from the greatest track in racing. Monday, May 20th, Scott joins you and Hammer and Nigel for an evening of food, fun, and Tales from the Track. Brought to you by Relay Indiana. Tickets are available now at WIPC.com.
Selling a home, buying a home. Call the only real estate expert I trust. That's Mark Dietl. Here's what happened with Katie and Chris in Perry Township. Sadly, their marriage was ending, and they were both ready to sell the house and move on with life as soon as possible. Mark Dietl, the man for the job. got the home sold for more than they expected in 24 hours.
Listen, you have a lot of options in the real estate game, but Mark Dietl has the guarantee. Mark Dietl separates himself with the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is unbelievable. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. All you have to do is reach out. Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
A broken border, corrupt politicians, and the rise of communist China. We don't need leaders who will surrender. We need America First conservative Mike Speedy. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Mike Speedy is the only candidate in the GOP primary with both an A+ rating from the NRA and the endorsement of Indiana Right to Life. Speedy is the conservative who beat the abortion lobby, voting to make Indiana pro-life in the post-Roe v. Wade era. Mike Speedy also voted to ban sanctuary cities and voted to guarantee our right to constitutional carry. Mike Speedy, America First conservative for Congress. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message. Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
The laundry room. For as long as I can remember, this was the only place to get a good Wi-Fi connection. Until we got Xfinity. Now we have Wi-Fi all over the house. So, you're probably wondering why I'm still hanging out in here, when I could be happily streaming in the attic, basement, or literally any other room. Well, the truth is, it's warm in here. And I like the smell of dryer sheets.
Get out of here, weirdo.
Hey, close the door! You're letting cool air in.
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi with Xfinity. Now through April 21st, get started with 300 megabit internet for $35 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract and get free Wi-Fi equipment included for a year. Plus, ask how you can save 40% over T-Mobile in your first year. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires pre-postpone and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. Compares Xfinity Connect More Internet against T-Mobile Home Internet at $60 per month. Regular pricing applies after promo period.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos. A better, easier way to get term life insurance. All online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Attention Indiana homeowners, are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Damon's Lawn and Garden on West Rockville Road.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run some stories by you. You break down all the information and give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not?
Easy, you know.
TikTok is all about something called April Theory after some woman's video about it went viral. April Theory.
All right.
Take a listen and see if she motivates you.
April Theory is when life starts to get good. Spring is starting in April. The weather gets nicer. Energy just shifts. I don't know about you guys, but I felt it. So if you've been feeling really stagnant in life, trust me, this is the month when things are gonna get really good for you. Things are warming up just in time for summer. This is when the little buds on the trees come. January, February, and March was all preparation for what is about to happen in April.
Yeah, I'm all about it. April theory totally makes sense. I don't think she's made any sort of groundbreaking discovery here. Everybody knows when April rolls around, it's when it starts to get warm. Like this weekend was gorgeous in
Loved
Indianapolis. I mean, I was outdoors from morning to night. Yesterday was even warmer than it was Saturday. Took like a long 2-mile walk, listened to the Traders Point sermon live online, watched golf, opened up all the windows in the house. There's a nice breeze flowing through, maybe a cocktail or two during the back nine. That's when the Masters really starts, the final round anyway. I love this woman's theory. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. I've always looked forward to April. And I've always looked forward to the Masters because that really is the first thing, the event that ushers in spring. And, we're a couple of days away from May. And next thing you know, we're racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I love that. So if you're in your car right now, or maybe in your office, little survey. If you cut grass this weekend, on the count of 3, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3.
Raising your hand?
Well, my son cut the grass.
That's what sons are for.
I'm at the age now where I can delegate and make Jacob cut it. But yeah, pretty much everybody in my neighborhood was out this weekend with the lawnmower, Saturday or Sunday. Is this anything? A motorcyclist in Michigan was arrested after antagonizing a police officer, speeding off, popping wheelies, and then ultimately running out of gas. Here's some of the chatter between officers and a police helicopter during the pursuit.
Trying to antagonize me.
He's doing a wheelie on a freeway. Very nice. All right, he's crawling. I don't know if he ran out of gas or not. He might be out of gas. Looks like he's given up.
Yeah, and they arrested the guy. And look, if you're going to antagonize police and try to be a badass on your motorcycle, might want to make sure the gas tank's full. Idiot. And look, I'm sorry, those guys, they put themselves at such risk because if they hit I drive a truck. I saw a couple of guys weaving in and out of traffic after the show 65 northbound last week. They hit my truck. They're just going to put a dent in my truck and end their lives. Nothing's going to happen to me. And I'm not probably necessarily going to feel sorry for them either. Especially guys like that, this a-hole that's antagonizing cops and popping wheelies.
People still pop wheelies? Is that a thing? I don't think you see as many wheelies as you used to.
On my bicycle when I was a kid, I could never pop a wheelie or ride out a wheelie. I was just never a successful wheelie popper. Were you?
A little bit, but not much.
Like those guys that could just ride wheelies for miles and miles.
No, I couldn't do that. No, I could get it up a little bit, go a couple feet, and maybe that was about it. But maybe it's because, when we grew up in the 80s, that's the post-Evel Knievel era. Like, kids today, though, they grew up with Jackass and the X Games.
Yeah.
So I thought you would see more wheelies than you do. But it's very rare when you see some moron popping a wheelie these days. All right, coming up next, we have got a very special guest.
Frances Martel from Breitbart. She is their world editor. She is going to let us know everything we need to know about the events that took place. A huge world event take place. Iran directly attacking Israel. Unprecedented. They usually do it through proxies, but this time it was Iran that sent 300 drones and missiles across the border. The Israeli air defense system got rid of all of it, but we will talk to her next. How would you like to get a 13% bonus when you invest your money? Not only do you get a 13% bonus, but you'll also get an annual return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years. Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Discover how you can get an upfront 13% bonus plus a competitive annual return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years.
Learn more from the retirement guy that we trust, Bill Demery here in Indy. Call him today, 317-648-5120. This was such a no-brainer for me. Why wouldn't you do this? You get an upfront 13% bonus, plus a competitive annual return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years. And it's backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
On a map, the southern border is 1,000 miles away. But that's not how it feels to my family. I grew up in a blue-collar home in Richmond. My dad was a factory worker. He was laid off twice. Not because the factory was doing poorly, but because it was cheaper to move those jobs across the border. I'm Jameson Carrier. Today, it's not what's leaving across the border that's devastating our families, it's what's coming in. And once again, it's personal. My wife and I lost our son Joey to fentanyl, a tragedy that's become far too common. To President Biden, secure the border is just a talking point. But to our family, it's life and death. I'm Jameson Carrier. I'm a business owner, a native Hoosier, and a Trump Republican. And we can't wait another day to secure our border and put Americans first. I'm Jameson Carrier, and I approve this message.
Jameson Carrier for Congress. Paid for by Carrier for Congress, Inc.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Storms to return tomorrow. Just a few clouds hovering over the circle into 80 degrees. You've got a clear radar. Low of 57 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Severe weather could show up late Tuesday night.
So we have one round of thunderstorms coming in Tuesday night, and then the second round possibly coming in Wednesday afternoon. And then it should be done thereafter. The cold front sweeps through, and that should stabilize the atmosphere through the rest of the week.
Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service says strong winds and hail possible tomorrow. More chances for severe weather Wednesday. 2 adults charged with the death of a 5-year-old girl had their first court hearings today.
Seeing a small child and what they had to go through, not only in the last couple of months, but throughout their entire life. What is alleged is that basically every single adult let that child down.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says the death of Kinsley Welty was preventable. Her mother, Tony McClure, has been charged with murder and child neglect. Mears says they want life without parole for her. Her boyfriend, Ryan Smith, and Welty's grandmother have also been charged with neglect. The first sets of potential jurors in the Donald Trump trial in New York are being sworn. Jury selection, though, could take a couple of weeks given how many prospective jurors there are. Eventually, 12 will be selected. There's going to be 6 alternates. Getting direct flights from Evansville to Chicago was a big help to the business community, according to Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
Detroit is another big market for them, in particular because of Toyota and that massive plant they have nearby in Princeton. They need better access to Detroit, so that's another market to be sure.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz when regional airports lose service to important destinations, it can negatively affect Indiana's economy. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.58, says GasBuddy.com. That's 3 cents below the national average. And a look at how the markets closed today. The Dow was down by 248 to 37,735. The NASDAQ also dropping by 290 points to 15,885. The S&P 500 down as well by 61 to 5,061. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:32.
Get ready for storm season because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665. Or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at the road from Indianapolis to Shelbyville, that's eastbound 74, and the crash cleared before Acton. And traffic still stop and go back to 465. Inbound 65 slow. MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go Belmont to the south of Split. On the east side, northbound 465 loaded from 70 up to 71st. Eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. And a reminder, Fall Creek Parkway shut down at Evanston Avenue until April 30th because of nickel plate construction. Traffic sponsored by B Window for a limited time. With B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months. No interest or payments, plus qualifying completed projects earn a $500 gift card at SullivanHardware.com. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s. We should see clouds increasing. Isolated chance at a shower storm tomorrow morning. Rain chances increase Tuesday night. High temperatures in the upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. That is Jason Hammer over there. Over the weekend, while much of America was watching the Masters Golf Tournament, Iran sent about 300 suicide drones and missiles into Israel. The Israeli air defense systems knocked most of them out. Here to make sense of what really is going on, our good friend, Breitbart News International Editor Francis Martel. Francis, your 30,000-foot big picture on what you saw take place over the weekend. I mean, it seems kind of humiliating for Iran, and I'm wondering if there's an angle here, if there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. What do you think?
I think it is, if there was an angle to this. So part of the reason I think they sent all these drones is a publicity stunt aspect of it, right? They've been selling, or, they're believed to be selling these suicide drones to places like Russia. They popped up in Ukraine, in the Ukrainian battlefield. They want to show off that they have this advanced technology so they can make money off of it. And they just sanctions on those products were just lifted in October from the UN. The IDF says that 100% of the drones and 100% of the cruise missiles were intercepted. The only thing that got through were a few of the ballistic missiles, but from the horse's mouth, the IDF says 99% of them did not hit anything. So that's a pretty bad look. I mean, if you read Iranian state propaganda, though, they're saying that they hit a ton of military and intelligence targets in Israel. I've heard rumors that they're playing, like on state television, they're playing footage of unrelated fires in like South Africa and stuff, and they're claiming that's their attack on Israel. I haven't confirmed that, but I have heard that from people who can understand what's on Iranian state television. So they're trying to make it seem like a huge success, and reality is really not matching up to that.
Francis, Jason Hammer here. It seems like everybody knew this was happening. Like, we were watching news coverage in real time, like waiting for these drones and missiles to actually get there. There was a heads up given. Did Joe Biden and the United States know that this was going to happen ahead of time?
They definitely knew something was going to happen ahead of time. It's very possible that our intelligence intercepted exactly what beforehand, and if not us, the Mossad, because they had trackers where, and it's incredible to live in this day and age, right, that as a civilian in the United States, you could watch live tracking of these missiles, and I had someone compare it to the NORAD Santa tracker on Christmas Eve.
Right.
You watch like Santa, and you're, I'm sitting in my house in New Jersey. You guys are, at home in Indiana, and you can see this in real time. And to me, that proves to be a significant intelligence failure for Iran and a pretty big intelligence victory for, either us or the Israelis. But I would be surprised if the CIA wasn't somehow involved in figuring out what was going to happen.
So what was the United States response after all this happened? It seems like they had Israel's back, but there's always a but there. They're like, hey, look, if you retaliate, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Is that kind of how it went?
Yes, I think Biden's trying to have it both ways. And something that's really unfortunate about the response to everything that's happened since October 7th in Israel is that the Biden administration is moving very politically. Everything it does regarding Israel is pointed to maximizing the number of votes that turn out in November. And so you've had these very bizarre about faces where last week, standing next to the Prime Minister of Japan, Biden is saying we have an ironclad commitment to defending Israel. And then this happens, and the statement, the first thing that struck me from the Biden statement after the attack is that he claimed that Iran was targeting military targets in Israel, which it's a very specific thing to say military, which makes it sound like legitimate, right? Like that they weren't targeting cities. And, do we really know that? We don't. Why give them the benefit of the doubt? And then there's this leaked report that apparently Biden told Netanyahu, if you attack Israel, you're on your own. We don't know where the leak came from. I wouldn't be surprised if it came from Biden, and it's intended to, that it's directed toward the target audience is Muslim Americans and hard-line leftists who are anti-Israel and who they don't want to stay home in November, or worse, they go out and they vote for Cornel West or something.
Right.
So that I think is unfortunately the top concern of the Biden administration, and you're never going to have a coherent foreign policy if you're just chasing votes.
Speaking of Biden, so I'm old enough to remember when the United States under Donald Trump's leadership blew up Soleimani, and the Iranians didn't do anything. They sat there and they took it. Joe Biden comes out over the weekend and says, don't. And the next thing you know, the Iranians are firing all their drones and missiles. What does that say about Joe Biden?
I think it says that they think they can get away with it. The Iranians will always try to push the envelope as far as they can without getting into a direct war. And no one wants a direct U.S.-Iran war. Like, absolutely no one except for maybe a couple of really crazy neocons, because Iran is a huge country with a lot of civilians. That would be a very difficult war. No one wants it. And the Iranians don't want it because the Iranian elite live very well. Like Ayatollah Khomeini lives very well, very comfortably. He doesn't want to disturb that. So they push it as far as they can. Under Trump, and I'm glad you brought this up because I've been thinking about this all weekend. People forget because this was January 2020 and some things happened a little bit later. But in January 2020, every headline in mainstream media was World War III, we're going to World War III, Trump got us into this war. And you're right, the Iranians did almost nothing. They shot down a commercial airliner, a Ukrainian international airliner by mistake. So that was the best they could do. This was way more significant, and it was unprecedented because it was the Iranian military. It wasn't Hezbollah. It wasn't the Houthis. So they think that they can get away with more. And, to the extent when you see the leak saying that Biden told Netanyahu, we don't have your back, that really makes it seem like if the leak is true, the Iranians are right, that they don't really have to worry about the United States right now.
You mentioned World War III. That was trending all weekend on Twitter, Francis. We're speaking with Francis Martel, Breitbart News international editor. I always ask you about this every time you come on in terms of nuclear war and World War III. Is this something that you think maybe could escalate? I'm seeing that all over the place on social media if Israel decides to respond.
It could. I'm not going to lie, it could. But I don't think that, we have this problem in our media where half the media will say, this is nothing, ignore it, it's not important. And the other half will say, this is World War III, go to your bunker right now. Yeah. And that's neither of those are true. We're in a middle ground. This is extremely serious. I think that the threat is, is this going to embolden Iran to attack other parts of Israel? Is it going to result in uniting Iran with other Muslim neighbors, which it looks like no. I mean, Jordan was there shooting missiles out of the sky. So it doesn't look like the rest of the Arab world in that region really wants to get into this war with Iran, which is a big reason I don't think this is going to turn into World War III. Like, no one has the appetite to back Iran. The Saudis don't, the Jordanians don't, Dubai is not interested. So that's why I don't think it's going to turn into a huge war. Can it escalate into something where Israel is no longer a safe place? Can it devastate Israeli tourism, for example? Can it devastate the Israeli economy? Absolutely. And a weak Israel is bad news for the whole world, because Israel is the only place in the Middle East where you can be openly gay, where women have, equal rights. It's a place that stands for freedom. And when it gets weak and the powers like Iran get strong, that sends a bad message everywhere. And it boils over into things like the conflict with the opposition in Venezuela. It boils over into Pakistan and India having heightened tensions. So that's what I'm worried about. I am not worried about an Iranian nuke dropping on anybody anytime soon, but the spillover effect of bad actors seeing that they could get away with bad activity, in a world where the Taliban is running Afghanistan again, in a world where China is more belligerent than ever. That is the main concern here, I think.
Is this the biggest attack against Israel we've ever seen? Now, I understand October 7th happened. I'm talking in terms, missiles have been lobbed into Israel for decades and decades, but the scale and scope of what Iran pulled off, is this kind of the biggest thing that's happened to Israel?
I think in the block of time that it happened, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't done the math. I'm sure if you add up how many missiles Hamas, has lobbed over the border, or Hezbollah over time, it might be more. But just having one night where there's just this barrage of over 300, and having drones also, this advent where these countries that are rogue states, and they're not especially wealthy rogue states, now have access to cheap drones. That's going to be a huge threat, both for Israel and for everyone. Turkey has cheap drones that they're giving to Azerbaijan that is facilitating a Christian genocide against Armenians. So every little conflict in the world can be worsened because now countries like Iran can cheaply build drones and use them and sell them. And that also worries me about North Korea. Is this going to embolden North Korea into starting to use drones to threaten Japan and South Korea? It hasn't happened yet, but if Iran gets away with it, they're going to get ideas. So that's kind of where we are with that.
And finally, Francis, before we let you go, just I know you're not a military strategist, but just your own opinion. What do you think happens next with Israel? Do they respond? I saw some random headline on Twitter. Israeli Air Force has completed its prep for an imminent attack on Iran. Is that a possibility?
If it were me, if I'm putting my military strategist hat on, I would respond indirectly. I would not just bomb Tehran. I don't think that's a smart strategy. But we have ideas. We think that Israel has really heightened cyber capabilities, and Iran has all these illegal nuclear facilities that it has, underground, and it won't let the UN inspectors in. I would go for a cyber attack if it was me, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were unexplained blackouts and that sort of thing in Iran in the next few weeks. But I do think also that Israel has to do something overt just to send a message to the world that they're not going to just take it and listen to Biden. And that, I don't really know what that's going to look like. I think that might be a strike on Hezbollah or one of the proxies, the Houthis, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, any of those guys, to sort of weaken Iran from the outside and make the case. But, yeah, if it was me, I would go for some sort of cyber attack that you can easily refute that it was you.
She has written plenty on Iran and Israel and the events over the weekend. You can find them at Breitbart.com. Breitbart News International Editor Francis Martel, thank you for the last-minute interview request. You have a great week.
Oh, absolutely. You too. Thank you so much.
All right, we've got some tickets to give away.
Let's do it.
Caller number 9 right now, 239-9393. Aerosmith.
Yeah.
The Peace Out Farewell Tour featuring the Black Crowes.
Incredible.
January 16th, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. We got a fun little game for you, but you have to be caller number 9, 239-9393.
I am an American Standard furnace and air conditioning owner. If you're looking to replace that air conditioner this summer, Hammer has got the perfect local independent American Standard dealer to tell you about.
Absolute Comfort. Be sure to ask for Chris Wedekin. Chris, he's the expert on saving you money on utilities. Absolute Comfort can help you with American Standard heat pump options that help you cool in the spring and heat when the temperatures drop. And let's be honest, it's Indiana. That could really be any time. All of that happens while saving you energy and money. Absolute Comfort's experts can also help make sure your home is zoned properly, thus ensuring your comfort and, once again, saving you money. Absolute Comfort. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. American Standard, built to a higher standard. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Kate here from Baths R Us with the 3 biggest problems people always have with bathroom remodelers and how Baths R Us overcomes them all. First, it takes too long. Everyone's heard the horror stories of jobs that drag on for weeks or months. But at Baths R Us, we're in and out in 2 or 3 days, and it looks stunning. Problem number 2, the final bill is more than the original estimate. Baths R Us doesn't give estimates. We give ironclad quotes. We remodel over 1,500 bathrooms a year. You can be confident there will be no last-minute surprises. And problem number 3, they don't do the job right. Baths R Us only hires master craftsmen who are trained and certified and who use the highest quality materials. That's why we're proud to offer our no regrets promise, your personal guarantee that you'll love your new bathroom. Call right now and get $1,500 off plus low to no monthly payments. Our number is 317-886-1761 or online at bathsrus.com. That's bathsrus.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct, and man, they just have an incredible deal going on right now. You can't beat it. Call Universal Windows Direct today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, they'll upgrade your new windows to triple pane glass for free. That means extra protection from the elements, a consistent temperature in your home, increased energy efficiency, and reduced heating and cooling costs, plus a quieter and more comfortable home. And in addition to these incredible windows, they're giving you such a great price. Universal Windows Direct right now when you call 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. Buy 2, you get 2 free. Plus, yes, there's more. If you mention my name, Rob Kendall, you get $250 off your project. Universal Windows Direct, tell them Rob sent you.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 27th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Damon's Garden Center has endless varieties of trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies, and a friendly, helpful staff at Damon's on West Rockville Road.
Join the Home and Garden Show this Saturday at Exercise Inc. at their Fisher's Open House, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday Drive, just east of State Road 37 off 141st Street.
Now offering 50% off all products, plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, the crash cleared eastbound 74 going to Shelbyville. It was a crash between Post and Acton Road. All lanes have opened. We are still slow, though. Stop-and-go traffic from Thompson Road back to Franklin Road. East side, northbound 465 slow, 70 up to Penn Pike, and then we stop around East 71st Street in that express lane. Slow traffic past Allisonville Road. Northbound 465 on the northwest side, stop-and-go traffic, 86th Street to 865, and a crash crash on the east side, Washington at Rural. Traffic sponsored by B Window for a limited time. With B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months, no interest or no payments. Plus, qualifying completed projects are a $500 gift card at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
80 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And we are giving away tickets to see Aerosmith along with the Black Crowes. Awesome show. The Peace Out Farewell Tour, January 16th, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Brian was caller number 9. Brian, how are you?
Hey, gentlemen, I'm on my way back to work from vacation. I'm driving out here in the country. I got to be sick, so I had to unlock my phone to get to dial, and then had to dial the number.
Okay. Hey, that sounds great. All right, hey, we're running out of time, Brian. We don't have time for your life story, but this is how it's going to work. Here in just a moment, a certain someone is going to read off a historical fact, okay? If you can tell us who this person is talking about, we're going to give you the tickets. You got to get 2 out of 3. Now, we found out that Nigel can do a solid Steven Tyler impression. So, Nigel performing as Steven Tyler. If you can figure out what he's talking about, 2 out of 3, you get the tickets. Okay, Brian?
All right.
Here we go. Number 1.
This is the man who led the Continental Army to victory over the British and became the first president of the United States.
I heard a George Washington in there. Yes. One down.
So bad.
All right, Brian.
That was all right.
Get this next one, and we're going to give you the tickets. All right. This is U.S. history with Nigel as Steven Tyler, number 2.
In 1969, this man was the first person to walk on the moon. He was a Purdue graduate. Never down.
Who's he talking about, Brian?
John Glenn?
No, that's incorrect. Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk in the moon. Hey, Allison, hit that dump button for us. Thank you.
All right, we got one more.
We got
this is so bad.
Oh, man, come on.
One more. Get this right. We'll still give you the tickets. Number 3.
On December 7th, 1941, this Hawaiian military base was bombed by Japan. This act caused the United States to enter world.
I heard of Pearl Harbor, and there's a winner.
All right.
There we go.
So bad.
Oh, this is so fun. Brian, you are the big winner. Stay on the line. Allison will take care of you. And we've got tickets all week long. Should we do another round tomorrow?
No.
Aerosmith tickets all week long. We'll have some sort of game for you. If you think we should do this game, let us know. If you think we should do something else, at Hammer and Nigel.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
There is no reason to live with achy joints. There's no reason to live with pain, and there's no reason not to seek out help. That help is at QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and in Carmel. Under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, QC Kinetics can help you get rid of joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no steroids. That's right. These are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics, using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. Talk to QC Kinetics today. Get a free consultation. They even have Saturday hours, so you have no downtime at work. Call QC Kinetics today and tell them Tony Katz sent you. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and in Carmel. Call today. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN.
Tim McGraw. In concert. The Standing Room Only Tour 2024. A night filled with your favorite songs. This Thursday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. With special guest Carly Pierce and Randall King. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tim McGraw. Presented by Sports Illustrated.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Let Bill Estes put you behind the wheel of the powerhouse brands that define American toughness. Ford, Chevy, Ram, and GMC.
Right now, get up to $10,000 off new 2023 Ford F-150 XLT models.
Unleash the power of the road with Bill Estes Trucks. Find the location near you and see their inventory at BillEstesTrucks.com.
All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Excludes tax, title, and other fees. Stock number BFB 231021. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Coming up in 2 minutes, when you could see rain next in the capital city, John Herrick reports on a woman from Brownsburg accused of beating her child, and why adding direct flights from Chicago to Evansville could be a positive impact for you. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recyclers Studios. Temperatures in the 80s downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
No former U.S. president has ever faced a criminal trial until today. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump's hush money-related trial begins in New York.
It's a scam. It's a political witch hunt. It continues, and it continues forever.
The former president speaking a short time ago as the first day of jury selection wraps up with none chosen yet. Much of the day spent on pretrial decisions.
The judge ruled the Access Hollywood tape from 2016 cannot be played in court. However, evidence surrounding payments made to former Playboy model Karen McDougal will be admitted. President Trump's lawyers pushed back on that ruling, saying it will confuse the jury because the payments that President Trump is accused of improperly recording as legal expenses surround adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
Fox's Nate Foy at State Supreme Court in Lower Manhattan. The White House says Israel is stronger and Iran is weaker after Iran's attack over the weekend.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says aerial attacks by Iran at Israel were a spectacular and embarrassing failure.
Given the scale of this attack, Iran's intent was clearly to cause significant destruction and casualties.
Kirby says the U.S. military response, knocking down drones and missiles, along with Israel and regional partners, sent a strong message.
And if I'm sitting in Tehran right now, I'm betting that President Biden takes it pretty seriously when he says, don't escalate. He's going to act to make sure that you can't.
President Biden is urging de-escalation. U.S. forces would not take part in any Israeli counterstrike.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president says the U.S. is committed to Israel's security, but Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says Iran is emboldened, not deterred.
Just saying so, saying our commitment is ironclad, doesn't make it so.
The White House urging House Republicans to take up a Senate-passed bill that includes aid for Israel and Ukraine. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rain could be here by tomorrow. 81 degrees, mostly sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on the radar. Low temps drop just below 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Severe storms possible Tuesday night and could continue into Wednesday.
Isolated large hail and gusty winds
strong to severe winds are possible as it comes into our area, but it should be in a weakening state. I think the bigger threat for us would be more so on Wednesday, as of the way it looks right now.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service. Strong winds, hail, and an isolated tornado, all possible. Beating up her special needs child, that's what a woman from Brownsburg's accused of doing. John Hayrick reports.
It was around 6 o'clock Sunday night that police were called to a Wendy's in Brownsburg, where witnesses say they saw Dana Snyder hitting her special needs daughter both inside and outside the Wendy's. Police say the girl eventually threw up, and Snyder stomped on her head and chest, slapped her in the face, and pulled her hair. Snyder was arrested and charged with battery. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Tony McClure has been charged with murder after her 5-year-old daughter died last week. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears explained why his office is asking for life without parole.
The 3 statutory aggravators that we're alleging in the case. Number 1, the victim in this case was less than 12 years of age. Number 2, we're alleging that a criminal confinement occurred. And number 3, we are alleging torture.
McClure's boyfriend, Ryan Smith, and her grandmother, Tammy Halsey, each face charges of child neglect resulting in death. Smith and McClure were in court today. Halsey has a hearing scheduled for Tuesday. Getting direct flights from Evansville to Chicago. It was a big help to the business community, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
Detroit is another big market for them, in particular because of Toyota and that massive plant they have nearby in Princeton. They need better access to Detroit, so that's another market to be sure.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz, when regional airports lose service to important destinations, it can negatively impact Indiana's economy. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Congresswoman Sparks will be ready for your interview soon.
It seems pretty intense in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Maybe I'll take some time before the interview to Google Victoria Sparks and learn a little more about her. Whoa. Have you seen this article?
One aide calling the lawmakers' workplace behavior manic?
Victoria Sparks was number 1 on Legistorm's list of worst bosses based on high turnover rates.
Says she, quote, avoided firing aides and instead bullied them until they left.
And the story is based on interviews with half a dozen former staffers.
Yikes. Sparks called staff morons and idiots.
Get this. Victoria Sparks says her working style is, quote, not for everyone.
Well, it's not for me. I think I'll pass on this interview.
I'm Chuck Goodrich. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
The traffic in the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Arizona. Looking at northbound 465, stop and go traffic, 86th Street, 2865. Those westbound lanes are also heavy from Ditch Road past Michigan Road. East side northbound 465, stop and go traffic running from 70 up and around to Allisonville Road. That includes the express lane. That's going to be slow in parts. Southbound 65 slow before MLK to Meridian Pad. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Tibbs into the south as split. And a reminder, Fall Creek Parkway shut down at Evanston for nickel plate trail construction. That's going on until April the 30th. The whole area is a zoo right now. Please take caution. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s. We should see clouds increasing. Isolated chance at a shower storm tomorrow morning. Rain chances increase Tuesday night. High temperatures in the upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's...
You know, as radio guys, especially doing what we do on this show, Hammer, you never enjoy opening up a segment reminding people of grim anniversaries. But I do think it's incredibly important to keep the memories of the victims alive, Hammer. It's the third anniversary of the FedEx mass shooting here in Indy at the facility near the airport. 9 people killed, including the shooter. Many more wounded.
And over the last couple of years, because of this job, I've been able to strike up somewhat of a friendship relationship with the Blackwell family. And we've had Jeff Blackwell in the studio before.
Their daughter perished in that shooting.
Samaria Blackwell was 19 years old, lost her life in that shooting. And like you said, it's important to keep the legacy alive of so many people that died way too soon. And what I love about the Blackwell family is the positivity and the faith that they present. Because I don't know if I could keep it together if something like that happened to my family. But when you listen to these people talk, and I've met them multiple times at other events, again, Jeff's been in studio, the amount of grace and faith that this family has, it's impressive and it's humbling. So let's go back a couple years. This was on the 1-year anniversary, a couple years ago, when we had Jeff Blackwell in studio. Again, his daughter lost her life. Samaria lost her life in the shooting. And here he is talking about how he's dealing with the way life has treated him.
The reality is there are good and bad days. We're believers. We fall into our faith, and that's what's carried us through at this point, and that's what continues to carry us through. Jesus Christ has just been the way that's gone there. Again, there are good days and bad days. I mean, just literally some days you don't want to get out of bed, but you just put one foot in front of the other and keep going on.
I'm a believer. And I don't know that I'd ever be able to crawl out of the pit of despair. And guys like him, like Mr. Blackwell, are an inspiration. You know,
absolutely.
I listen to that and I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
You think you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, just listen to the way that this family responds to the worst pain imaginable. And it gives you hope and it gives you faith. Now, the other thing to remember as we head into this somber third anniversary of what happened at that FedEx facility is that the Marion County justice system let a lot of people down, including the Blackwell family. We had FOP President Rick Snyder in studio with us talking about how the prosecutor's office dropped the ball here.
Well, the red flag law was placed into effect in 2005 after Officer Jake Laird was killed in line of duty on the south side of Indianapolis. It's actually named after him, the Jake Laird red flag law. And it was to authorize law enforcement officers in the immediacy of the moment, if they identify that someone is a threat to themselves or to others, to be able to seize those weapons and hold them to intervene and hopefully prevent something like this from occurring. But it also prescribes for due process, immediate due process for the person involved, so that there is a balance between constitutional rights of folks as well as due process and legal review of the actions by the officers. But the key component is that prior to this incident at the FedEx, the prosecutor had to initiate that filing with the court. It had to go through the prosecutor, this prosecutor. And the point that we made is it wasn't that the law it wasn't that the law failed. It was that the prosecutor failed to give the law a chance to work, and that's the key component. And I think what I heard from Jeff there is a salient point, which is we'll never know because he never tried. What we do know is that if he had tried, there was a chance that it could have been interrupted. The certainty is that he didn't, and because of that, there was nothing that prevented this suspect from purchasing or obtaining additional weapons.
Yet the suspect, the murderer, his family begged police and the prosecutors to take his guns away. And they did, but he was able to buy more.
Right. Because of the inaction of the prosecutor's office.
Boy, that would haunt me.
They just let it sit there on the desk because this prosecutor is so afraid to try. Like, he's afraid to fail. And that's not how you lead as a prosecutor. You can't be so scared to death to fail. And this is how situations like this happen. And again, when we had Jeff Blackwell in studio with us, this tells you all you need to know about the type of guy Ryan Mears, the prosecutor of Marion County, is when he was ducking the families of the victims after the investigation.
I had the president acknowledge it and come to us. We had the governor, everybody on through, but one person hasn't basically acknowledged this. Now, why I say that is after the investigation period was done of the initial thing that happened, we were called together, all the victims' families, to a substation on the west side, at which point in time, every law enforcement agency under the sun, including the local deputy, if you will, was there, and they presented all this. The U.S. District Attorney, the FBI, the World Police Organization. It was crazy how many people were there. As the things were presented, there's something that became very evident, because everything kept circling back to this question of, why was nothing ever done about this first encounter with the police and the red flag law? Guess who was not in attendance there? I don't even have to say his name. So this really set us off, at which point in time, Chief Taylor texted him, everything else. He was supposed to have a sit down with all the families at once.
The prosecutor, the current prosecutor.
Correct. That has never happened.
Man.
Coward.
Total coward. So again, on this somber date on the calendar, I'm thinking about my friends, the Blackwells. I'm thinking about all the families that lost somebody in this senseless act of violence, and it didn't have to be that way. In much happier news, Nige, it's a big time for those who work at Pacers Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
Because tonight, the WNBA draft is set up, and the Fever, they have the number one pick.
When is the last time the show has talked about the WNBA draft?
I don't think ever. But Caitlin Clark is available. She's on the board, and it looks like that's who the Pacers are going to hitch. I keep saying Pacers. Fever are going to hitch their wagon to, and this really is a franchise-changing moment because ticket sales are through the roof now.
Is she the most popular college basketball player, male or female, this season?
I think so. This is a down year for male college basketball. Like all the experts say, this year's NBA draft is the worst of all time.
Wow.
So other than like obviously Zach Edey, who people here in Indiana are familiar with because of playing at Purdue, two-time player of the year, I'd say Caitlin Clark is the most well-known, most popular college player, men or women.
She was fun to watch, man.
She was.
Yeah, I loved it.
And the Pacers back in the playoffs. They have a 7-game series against the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 1 is Sunday. Here is Pacers star Miles Turner talking about the playoffs.
And, it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but we got to where we needed to go. All we asked for an opportunity. Now it's our turn to make some noise.
Our turn to make some noise. And one of my favorite videos of the weekend was after the Pacers had won against the Hawks on Sunday, they knew they had clinched a guaranteed series in the playoffs. Coming off the court, Tyrese Halliburton channeled his inner Jim Mora.
Playoffs?
Was he even born when the playoffs thing happened with Jim Mora? I don't know. It's hilarious that he knows his Indiana history, though, in terms of sports.
Yeah, I'm not
iconic
sure.
Moments. Playoffs. I love it.
So here's a little mashup here.
Okay.
See how well Tyrese Halliburton did. This is real Jim Mora and then Tyrese Halliburton.
Playoffs? I
thought he did a pretty good job, man. I'm not going to lie.
That was solid.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Look at the northbound 465. Stop and go 86th Street to 865. Eastbound 465 on the northeast side. Stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. East side northbound 465. Heavy traffic. Slow from 70 up to Allisonville Road and southbound 65. That's stop and go before MLK to Meridian Penn. Northbound 65 heading out of the north split. Slow to 21st and eastbound 70. Stop and go traffic from Belmont to the south split. Crash on the east side. Washington at Rural. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services Springs Hair. So it's the perfect time to get your HVAC in top shape with Mr. Quick's $49 preseason tune-up. Get ahead of the heat and enjoy comfort all summer. Visit MrQuickHomeServices.com and get your tune-up today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Playoffs?
Hey, you know what we should do? Our old producer, Ari Castle, who left the show and now I think he works for Indigo, is a huge Milwaukee Buck. So he's from that area. Maybe we still keep in touch with him every now and then, right? We should do some sort of bet with him.
Sure.
We should figure something out.
You think that he wants to associate with us is the question.
He interacts with us on Twitter.
Right. Will he get fired for interacting with the Hammer and Nigel show?
Let's do so. Let's find that out.
All right.
Let's figure it out.
Right now, we've got 80 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today. So you may hear some of the same offers from competing window companies. So the question is, why would you choose Window Nation over the rest? And my answer, I'm here to tell you, I'm a Window Nation customer. I know firsthand, Window Nation is all about paying attention to detail. Their experience, each installer has average over 10 years of experience. I mean, you can have the best window in the world, but it's not installed properly. It's not going to do you any good.
866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Because you can ask any question you want to the amazing staff at Window Nation, and they will answer. And you can even talk about this amazing deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and you don't pay anything. No interest, no payments for 2 years. This is what you need to talk about. At least start the conversation so you lock the deal in. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. This deal not going to last forever, so make that call today. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
I still have people who call me up, hey, Doc, it's been 10 years, and I haven't had a Crohn's flare-up in all that time. I think I'm starting to have some of my symptoms back. Can I send you my blood work? They've moved away or something like that. Can you help me get back on right track?
Yeah.
And then we get things stabilized. And they said over the 10 years, I've kind of gotten a little slack. So I haven't really been doing everything you told me to because things were going so well. And they said, I know it's my fault.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me that.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Can I?
But that's a very common thing that I get. We have a very high success rate of people going into remission without pharmaceuticals. The reason is because we get to the root of the problems and start to rebuild the system. And it's a much more long-lasting, much more healthy way of actually approaching it.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Retirement. When you picture your retirement, what do you see? Travel, relaxation, hobbies, more time with the people you love? Or are you met with uncertainty and concern? Whatever emotion the word retirement conjures up for you, Howard Bailey Financial is ready to help. Our financial advisors are not just experts in retirement strategies, they are your partners in crafting a personalized retirement plan that aligns with your dreams and aspirations. At Howard Bailey, we prioritize one thing above all else, your peace of mind. Don't leave your retirement planning to chance. Instead, call 866-482-9559 now to schedule your personal financial review and see how Howard Bailey can help give you confidence in your retirement goals. Again, call 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
A
Attention seniors, you're invited to the grand opening of CenterWell Indy West. CenterWell offers primary care centered on seniors, so come celebrate on Thursday, April 18th at 5115 West Washington Street in Indianapolis from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, call 317-754-7291 or visit meetcenterwellindiana.com.
Now offering 50% off all products, plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me. Join the Home and Garden Show this Saturday at Exercise Inc. at their Fisher's Open House, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday Drive, just east of State Road 37 off 141st Street.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Damon's Lawn and Garden on West Rockville Road.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, nearly a year after Fishers City Council set a $50 a day fee for non-residents to park vehicles at the new beach at Geist Waterfront Park, a proposal could be approved today, to lower that cost to $25 a day. Are you okay with this?
Oh, what's the matter, Fishers? Not getting the turnout you want? Not getting the money you want from all of us gross, disgusting non-Fishers residents? Yeah, well, kiss the fattest part of my Beech Grove backside because we ain't going to pay the money at all. So it went from $50 to $25 in 1 year.
Yeah.
Guess what happens next year, Bow, when people aren't coming to your fancy schmancy, Grey Poupon eating beachfront property? You're probably going to be making it free, begging people like us to come up there. So as far as I'm concerned, bite me. On behalf of every non-Fishers resident, bite me. I hope you don't make dollar number one, and I am 100% okay with them begging and lowering the cost.
A U.S. Navy and Coast Guard operation last week rescued 3 fishermen stranded on a tiny, uninhabited Pacific Ocean island for more than a week after they spelled out the word help using palm tree leaves laid on a white sand beach. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I'm okay with this.
Crazy.
This is like something from a movie, right? It's kind of like the old Castaway movie with Tom Hanks. Now, I'm reading up here a little bit. These guys were out fishing around the waters near a part of Micronesia when their boat had some sort of malfunction, and they scrambled ashore to this uninhabited island. Their radios ran out of battery power before they could call for help. So for a week, these 3 guys lived off of coconuts, but they did have fresh water on the boat. So they rationed out their water, and they were able to get help. Now, unlike Tom Hanks in the movie, this was an island, albeit uninhabited, that was familiar with fishermen. So people would go near this area to fish all the time. So they kind of thought they would be rescued sooner rather than later. But imagine that fear of being stuck on a deserted island, having to spell out help with the palm tree fronds, hoping somebody can rescue you. Yeah, that's something.
In Castaway, I think he was gone for like 3 years. Right. I think this was for a week.
Right. The island in Castaway was not a high-profile fishing destination. It was in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know about you, but the first time I saw Castaway, that scene where the FedEx plane is getting closer and closer to the water.
Oh, that was so...
Oh, freaks me out.
Yeah.
Totally.
A protester who threatened to murder Bakersfield City Council members appeared in court crying as she faces over a dozen felony charges. Here is what she said at that recent City Council meeting.
You guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors? We'll see you at your house. We'll murder you.
And she talked about, she was crazy. So she had a problem with metal detectors at the courthouse or wherever they were. Are you okay with this person?
I'm okay with the fact she was crying for having to be responsible for the crap that she said at this council meeting. Her tears are delicious to me. I wish I could lick her tears of fear and frustration, because you're right. This woman is a total nut. In like the 7 or 8 minutes that she was at the microphone speaking to the Bakersfield City Council, she threatened to murder them like you just heard, but there was also this lovely line.
And I hope one day somebody brings the guillotine and kills all of you motherfuckers.
She seems like a delight.
Oh, she seems nice.
She seems like the kind of person you want to invite over and watch the NBA playoffs with.
Now, if you look that clip up, the next shot you see is her crying in court.
Yes. I love it. It's good for my soul, watching her bawl and cry.
Pretty delicious. Okay, finally, are you okay with this? Post Malone. He put a cover of him singing Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks on his Instagram. Here's the clip. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a big old song race. Think I slip on down to the OS. So I've got friends in low places.
That's Post Malone. Yeah, man, I'm all right with that.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
He's got a country album coming out soon, doesn't he?
Like, he actually sounds country, as to where Beyonce's album just sounds like it's a dance mix with like a little bit of a steel guitar in the background. So, yeah, that sounded actually pretty good. And great moments in Post Malone history. The last time he did a concert in Indy, he went to a nearby Olive Garden. Now, the manager at that Olive Garden was some old woman who had no clue who he was, but she got a picture next to him, and there's this guy with all these tattoos and crazy hair, and this old woman with white hair who you could tell has no idea who he is, getting a picture together at the Olive Garden. Great moments in Post Malone history. All right, coming up next, Daisy, the lovely and talented Miss Daisy from the Chicks on the Right program. We're going to pick her brain on what's really going on with Iran, why our tax dollars are funding both sides of this thing. She's coming up right after we check the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When it could rain. Skies are clear for now. 80 degrees downtown. Clear of the radar as well. Low of 57 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Storms expected to last for a few days this week. They'll start Tuesday, says Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service.
If we're going to get severe weather on Tuesday, it's going to mainly be after 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening. It'll be pretty late into the day, almost into the night. It might not even arrive until after sunset for a lot of places.
Eckhoff says storms Wednesday could also bring a threat for an isolated tornado. Tony McClure has been charged with the murder of her 5-year-old daughter who died last week. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears explained why his office wants her to go away for good.
The 3 statutory aggravators that we're alleging in the case. Number 1, the victim in this case was less than 12 years of age. Number 2, we're alleging that a criminal confinement occurred. And number 3, we are alleging torture.
McClure's boyfriend Ryan Smith and her grandmother Tammy Halsey each face charges of child neglect resulting in death. Smith and McClure were both in court today. Halsey's hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. The White House has called it a failure. Fox's Jared Halpern reports on Iran's attack on Israel.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says Iran did not fire hundreds of drones and ballistic and cruise missiles towards Israel without trying to defeat air defenses.
It was an embarrassing failure for the Supreme Leader for the IRGC.
Kirby says the response from the U.S. to help Israel and regional partners down incoming weapons sends a strong message.
We had American fighter pilots in the air, in combat operations, shooting down drones and missiles that were heading towards Israel.
Kirby also dismissed Iranian claims of advanced warnings of its attack to the U.S. as absurd and false. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The jury selection phase for former President Trump's hush money trial started today in Manhattan. Trump spoke outside the courtroom this afternoon.
If you read all of the legal pundits, all of the legal scholars today, there's not one that I see that said this is a case that should be brought or tried.
Trump faces 34 counts of falsifying business records in relation to hush money payments he made to pornography actress Stormy Daniels during his 2016 presidential campaign. He's pleaded not guilty on all counts. And the average price for a gallon of gasoline in Indiana today, $3.58, says GasMoney.com, 3 cents below the national average. And with a look at the roads at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at westbound 465 north side. Stop-and-go traffic, Meridian past Michigan Road. Eastbound 465 loaded up from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Northbound 465 on the east side. Stop-and-go traffic from 70 up to east to 56. Express lane slow around Allisonville Road. Southbound 65 Full House from MLK down to Meridian Pettit. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown from Belmont to the south. Split is a crash. Rockville Road west of Bridgeport Road. Also looking to northbound 37, that's stop and go Epler to 465. Traffic sponsored by B Window. For a limited time with B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months. No interest or payments, plus qualifying completed projects on a $500 gift card at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s. We should see clouds increasing. Isolated chance at a shower storm tomorrow morning. Rain chances increase Tuesday night. High temperatures in the upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with special guest on the hotline.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right program. WIBC alum, the lovely and talented Miss Daisy joins us. Daisy, I'm a little confused here. I don't know why Iran is firing off these missiles because Biden told them don't. I can't put two and two together here. He clearly said don't.
Yeah, he did. I think don't in Farsi means I'm an old imbecile, so do the opposite of what I say.
Oh, okay. Now it makes perfect sense.
That's what it means. Yeah, I think that's me. So this administration is a complete joke with the don't stuff because they told after telling illegals to come here in the last campaign cycle, Kamala has said, don't come to them. And now we have 10 million people sucking off the taxpayer teeth because of her saying don't. So they say don't all the time, but we know that this administration is completely weak, and Biden is the weakest. I mean, he's the weakest president I've seen in my lifetime, and that's saying a lot because I lived through Carter. And we know that weak men, they create turmoil and chaos, and that's what we're seeing.
Right. And listen, say what you want about Donald Trump. Does he make a lot of mistakes? Sure. But Donald Trump killed Soleimani, and the Iranians just took it. Joe Biden says don't, and they fire off missiles.
Yeah, I think, Trump, he put out mean tweets, I mean, it's like he was the guy that said the things that people are like, okay, well, that may be inappropriate to say, but he showed strength, and he was a badass, and people paid attention to what he said. And we look back, we were not dealing with any of this stuff. So, I mean, people can say what they want about Trump, but I was not afraid of being in World War III or kids and grandkids being swept up in that stuff either. So we were definitely safer. I mean, John Kirby was asked this morning if America is stronger today than it was 4 years ago globally. And he actually said, out of his face, he had the audacity to say, oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel very comfortable in saying 100%. I mean, he also said this weekend that billions of dollars that Biden unlocked for Iran didn't go to terrorism. Like, those funds are fungible, you guys.
Isn't that the laughable part here? Like, there was the meme going around social media, and it's 100% right. U.S. tax dollars are paying for these missiles to be fired from Iran. Meanwhile, U.S. tax dollars are paying for the Iron Dome defense system that Israel is using. So our tax dollars are firing and knocking down things.
Right. And we're broke. We're completely broke, like, at the same time. Like, and then I think, we talked a little on our show this morning. We talked a lot about this subject, but one of the things we touched on is the fact that, like, once if they go through Israel and then they try to, that we're next. I mean, because that's the long game, right? I mean, they get through, they hate us. We have these people that are here in our country screaming death to America, right? So if they want to come to us and say that they want to attack us, you can't tell me that we're ready for a World War III, because we have completely relinquished are everything that we have when it comes to the military. Our military is in really poor shape, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're broke, and what we do have, the money that we are spending, is being spent on Ukrainian pensions and Ukraine's military and everybody else's military. We just don't have the money. We are broke, and we need to be spending it on ourselves and our military and building up our military resources.
And this goes back to what you originally said. Your first point was that the Biden administration is weak. I kept on seeing questions asked when this was going on Saturday. What is the significance of Iran? This is the first time they've directly launched an attack on Israel and not through their proxies, Hezbollah or Hamas. What is the significance of this? And I kept on thinking to myself, the significance is Biden is weak. They are testing the waters. They are tiptoeing to the line to see how far they can get. And Biden just said, don't. And now Biden's basically telling Israel, don't respond. Okay, we got your back, but don't respond to this.
Which they've never done before. So he said don't to Putin. He said don't to Iran. And now he's saying, okay, Israel, don't fight back. Which is crazy. I mean, like, why do people feel like Israel shouldn't be able to defend itself? Well, it's easy. The answer to that's easy is because they're Jewish. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's because they're Jewish.
I do think, though, Iran, I think this was humiliating for Iran. And, 99% of those drones and missiles were taken out by Israeli defense systems with the help of the UK and the United States.
Sure.
And then Iran issues a statement. All right, this matter is concluded now. And it's like the meme of Homer Simpson slowly fading into the ivy. It was kind of a humiliating thing on its face for Iran.
It was. Sure, it's humiliating, but they still did it.
Yes,
and it still shows how weak our president is when he's. I mean, it shows a sense that we don't have things under control from a foreign policy and national security standpoint. We just simply don't.
And what's wild to see is how the national media thinks this is fine, because you're right. You're 100% right. When Israel wants to go on the counter after somebody's done something squirrely to them, they're labeled as the bad guys here.
Yep. And that's the narrative now, which is crazy. I mean, there was a ceasefire on October 6th.
Yes.
And when Hamas came in and murdered Israelis and they raped Israeli women, they put babies in ovens, they took hostages, there was no longer a ceasefire because of those actions. And it's weird that this administration, our, quote, leadership, unquote, they're not talking about that. Instead, they're looking at Israel and saying, hey, you know what, you may want to, hold back. Because can you imagine if somebody said that to us?
Right.
Can you imagine if all those things happened to us in our country and on our land? In our country, and somebody said, hey, you guys need to hold back. Would we do that?
No. And with Iran now saying, all right, situation's over here. That's it for us. Good night, everybody. Now, if, Israel decides, oh, no, this is going to have some sort of ramifications here, now they're viewed as the aggressor.
Exactly. And it's crazy that is the case. It's crazy that in just 6 short months, that's where we're at from a narrative standpoint. And shame on the media for allowing that to happen. Shame on this administration for allowing that to happen. It's gross. Absolutely gross.
Chatting with Daisy from the Chicks on the Right program. Daisy, I don't know if you got full totality of the eclipse last week from your beautiful South Fork ranch down in Texas.
We did. We were in the path of totality, which is really crazy. You guys were, and I was, which is really nuts, right? What are the odds?
Well, I think we can all thank climate change for this, at least according to Sunny Hostin of The View. She, of course, the staff scientist on The View, says that climate change is why the eclipse happened.
And the earthquakes, the previous earthquakes.
Yes, that's
right. Oh, yeah, totally. I wonder if Notre Dame is going, can we get our degree back? Because damn.
And if you watch that clip, it was Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar that were the voices of reason.
Right.
Oh, my God. It's so crazy, right? What is even going on?
How can you imagine a scenario where it's Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar that are saying, no, you're crazy. That has nothing to do with climate change.
How are you the dumb one on The View?
Everything is borked, you guys. If Trump wins, the election, they're going to blame it on climate. They're going to blame it on climate change. I mean, this is what they're going to do. Everything is so stupid right now. I can't. It's like, but this is the thing, and they're constantly saying all this stuff about, because climate change is the new fear tactic in the Democrat Party, right? And listen, they're going full force on this whole meat thing too. They don't want us to eat meat, and I'm like, oh hell nah! You will pry it from my cold dead hands.
Hey, you mentioned Donald Trump. Are you paying attention to the Stormy Daniels hush money trial today kicking off?
Not really. I mean, because it's just more ridiculous stuff to try to take our attention away from the stuff that is actually, I don't know, the stuff that matters. I mean, they're just like, hey, look at the porn star, everybody, because our policies suck so hard. Everybody look at the porn star. This is what they're doing. At least that's what it looks like to me.
And I don't know if that tactic is going to work this time around, because back in 19, back in 20, all the fun little progressives could say, yeah, you know what? Donald Trump is embarrassing. I don't like mean tweets. I don't like the fact that he hooked up with a porn star. Oh, so disgusting. And now they're all broke. And they're like, well, maybe you guys were right.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a person that is all about the moral equivalency, and I won't use that as an argument. But it really would be kind of fun to look at like Congress and the Senate and say, okay, everybody here who has slept with a porn star, please step forward.
Or had an extramarital affair with their wife.
Exactly. Please. Yeah, step forward. I mean, come on. You know, it'd be like 75, 80% of those weirdos.
And then some people would just lie, like Jerry Nadler. Oh, stop it. There's no way, even if you paid her, a porn star is funneling on that hog. Sit down.
Has Jerry Nadler ever been with a woman ever? Because he's like a penguin. Yeah.
What are you guys doing over at Chicks on the Right?
Well, more of the same. It's probably going to be I'm sure it's going to be a lot of Israel talk. And I'm going to be forced to have to talk about the Stormy Daniels thing, I'm sure, tomorrow. So you guys check it out, chicksontheright.com.
Daisy, you're the best. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Raju, Raju, shades of red, white, and blue. Guarding dreams for all, he believes in you.
Raju Chinthala is a healthcare professional, a successful businessman, and a community leader with experience. Raju is ready to be your next congressman in the 5th District. Raju for you.
Raju, Raju, shades of red, white, and blue.
Raju is a family man ready to represent your family with Hoosier values. And he's a man of action, ready to get things done. Vote for Raju Chinthala, Republican 5th District Congress.
Raju, Raju, shades of red, white, and blue. Guarding dreams for all, he believes in you.
I'm Raju Chinthala, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Raju for Congress.
Diamonds Direct at Keystone at the Crossing. They've always made our purchases there very easy. They stick within your budget. They give you kind of like an overview, an education of kind of grade and types of diamonds you're buying. Just bought my wife a pair of diamond stud earrings for her birthday a year ago. So if you're ready to make this spring one to remember, it's that time of year again. Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale event. Get 20% off virtually everything in their showroom.
Now through April 21st, it is on like Donkey Kong. Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Get an incredible 20% off right now. Guys, thinking about popping the question? Now is the time. Looking to get that special graduation gift? Now is the time. 20% off of Diamonds Direct's already amazingly low prices. The biggest selection, the best staff, diamondsdirect.com. Or stop by Keystone at the Crossing, by the Green Bridge. Diamonds Direct. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Absolute Comfort. Chris Wedekin is the owner, and he tells us why many homeowners are giving up their air conditioners for a high-efficiency heat pump.
By removing your air conditioner and replacing it with a heat pump, you are not only saving by getting a higher efficiency air conditioner, the heat pump works in reverse and saves you money in the wintertime as well.
See if a heat pump is the right move for you by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Spring's here, so it's the perfect time to get your HVAC in top shape with Mr. Quick's $49 preseason tune-up. Get ahead of the heat and enjoy comfort all summer. Visit MrQuickHomeServices.com and get your tune-up today.
Damon's Garden Center has endless varieties of trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies, and a friendly, helpful staff at Damon's on West Rockville Road.
All right, Matt, what's up?
Couple of crashes on Rockville Road, one west of Bridgeport Road, another one at Girls School Road. Watch out for Fall Creek shut down for 2 weeks at Evanston. That's Fall Creek Parkway at Evanston closed. Fall Creek is in both the directions right now. The whole area is backed up. It is ugly. Looking at northbound 465 east side stop and go traffic beginning at Penn Pike to Allisonville Road. Southbound 65 loaded into downtown before MLK. And now we have, I'm told it's a stall on the south side, northbound 65 after Edgewood Avenue, blocking the right lane with a slow. Back to Edgewood Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. For a limited time with B Window, get 50% off all products in 20 months, no interest or payments. Plus, qualifying completed projects earn a $500 gift card at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Details at bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
If you missed it earlier, we are less than 100 tickets left for our big Tales from the Track event with Scott Dixon, Indy 500 champion from 2008, one of the great drivers in the history of the series. Less than 100 tickets remain. Dinner, drinks from Hotel Tango Distillery, meet and greet. Scott will sign stuff, take your pictures. It's all presented by our friends with Relay Indiana, but you better get tickets ASAP because this thing is selling quickly. Tickets have only been on sale for like a couple days, and already well over 100 tickets have already been sold. Go to the events page of WIBC.com or just go to our social media at Hammer and Nigel. 80 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It was funny earlier, right before, during the commercial break, I was in here and I sneezed like 3 times in a row. And I remember a day, Hammer, when you sneezed and like people would look at you like you had the plague, you were giving them the plague because of COVID, right?
Right.
And then we were talking about, the variant, BA5. I remember the variants, the COVID variants, or, everybody always talking about variants the past couple of years. And it reminded me of a meme that Elon Musk posted a couple of days ago, which is just a big billboard with a clown on it. And the clown says, "Where did all those dangerous variants go? You don't hear about COVID variants anymore." And a reply from a friend of the show, Alex Berenson, who was a COVID skeptic and contrarian and looked at the data, replied, "Amazingly, once mass RNA vaccinations collapsed, so did the virus's evolution. Must be a coincidence." You don't ever hear about new COVID variants anymore.
No.
And I don't think, nobody's getting boosters. Nobody is getting vaccinated for COVID anymore. It's just kind of a weird thing that I noticed. Like, you don't hear about the variants anymore.
I think this is a public now that realizes that we were lied to a lot. Now, I'm not saying COVID didn't exist. COVID existed. It absolutely existed. Some people died of it. But it wasn't this horrific monster that the media tried to scare you into believing. And the more time that goes by and you realize these quote-unquote experts were just making crap up on the fly.
6 foot social distancing.
Right.
Made it up.
Right. Going into a restaurant and you have to sit down to eat, but then you got to wear a mask when you stand up to go to the bathroom. These one-way in, one-way out things. It's all crap that had nothing to do with whether or not you got COVID.
And again, nobody, the vaccination, the RNA vaccinations have completely collapsed. Nobody's getting it anymore. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I just, food for thought there. An airline passenger claims they were extorted for a tip at the check-in counter. Hammer, an airline passenger in Jersey. The agent, you check your bag, and if you go over 4 or 5 pounds, you got to pay an extra $50, depending on how much your bag weighs, your luggage. The agent said, don't worry, I don't see anything. But you can leave a tip right there, pointing to a spot on the counter. And the customer asked if he was for real. The guy said, yeah. And they left $5. How do we feel about tipping? Being extortion, I think, might be a strong word here. But, you can either tip $5 or get charged an extra $50 to...
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm kind of torn on this because tipping culture is out of control. If you just sit at a register and take my order and then flip around the iPad expecting me to pay 20% extra, no, that's a little ridiculous. But listen, this is something folks go to Vegas do all the time. It's called the old $20 trick. Now it's the $50 trick with, inflation. You ask the, checkout person, hey, any upgrades available? And you slide the 20 over there. So you might get an upgraded room that would normally cost you $100 more for $20 or $50. I'll allow this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But well, okay, so $5 if your luggage is a half pound over.
To save me 50?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll absolutely do that. We have got another hour to go. Top stories, Hammer and Nigel show coming up next.
A broken border, corrupt politicians, and the rise of communist China. We don't need leaders who will surrender. We need America First conservative Mike Speedy. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once